let's go ahead and check on Twitch. I think I set it in the Discord now, so everything should be good. Alright, alright. We are all set to go. I'm excited. Sorry, I hit the table. My bad. Let's go ahead. I'm actually really excited with this. I think this looks a little bit better. This looks a little bit nicer. I hope this will be a bit easier for you guys to read. At least it's easier on your eyes. I made the font a little bit bigger too. So hopefully that will be easier for you guys to read and follow along. I've heard some comments before that the font on screen was really, really tiny. So it was a bit harder to read along with me. But yeah, I think this is a nice new setup. I feel a little fancier already, to be honest. Let's see if Roots is in. That way they can tell me if everything is going right. I would love that. Hello, Mango. It's good to see you. Welcome on in. Hopefully my audio and everything is good. Normally Roots is in by now to check and make sure. But I have the new setup. Look, I have dark mode enabled. I have like it's all easier on your eyes. The font is bigger. Everything looks nice. You sound good? Okay, good. Thank you so much. I'm gonna message Roots real quick just to make sure that they're in. Did you hear my phone? My bad. So let's see. Stream starting. There we go. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. I didn't have a lot of prep time. It was just something I wanted to do today. But I thought it would be an interesting topic. And I figured we'll see if anyone in Discord has any more questions about it. I even left the ending kind of a little bit here, like things to avoid with intros. I only put 2. There's more. But I figured more people would have opinions on what they don't like. Hello, Callie. It's good to see you. Oh, you're in ads. Okay. I'll wait. It's okay. It's just me. It's just me yapping. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, let me write in the chat. Let me know when you're out of ads. There you go. I'm still, I gotta figure out how I want my ad settings to be. Why does it show me as a 1-month subscriber? It's me. That's silly. Hello, Roots. But yeah, I think right now I have it as pre-rolls, and then I think I have the absolute minimum, like 30 seconds. 30 seconds of ads. But if I wanted to get rid of pre-rolls, I think then, I had to do like 3 minutes worth of ads. Hello, Noxley. It's good to see you. I was just talking about ads because Callie mentioned them, but I'm like, I think I have pre-rolls on, and then like the minimum of 30 seconds for normal ads, and I think to get rid of pre-rolls, I need to do like 3 minutes of ads, and both of them just sound horrible. Like it sounds so unpleasant to watch through. I know. I think having the pre-rolls is a less amount of ads. It's less than 3 minutes. And if I do the 3 minutes, it's like every hour. And I don't want to make... Some of you guys spend multiple hours watching me stream. I don't want to keep bombarding you with ads all the time, every single hour. That sounds so unpleasant. So I think the pre-rolls are better. But I'm not sure. If you guys have a stronger opinion about which way you guys like ads, let me know. But that's how I think in my head. I think this is the way to give you guys the least amount of ads. So, hopefully that works. But yes. If everyone wants to hang out and see for a bit, this is the new setup. It has dark mode, it has bigger font, it has little notes to the side. I actually worked. I spent a whole like 15 minutes getting this all set up. I'm really proud. I'll probably have to repeat all this when you guys get out of ads, huh? Oh well. I wonder how long pre-roll ads are. Roots, you're not in... I think you have yeah, you're one of the subscribers, so you shouldn't have ads. Roots, how long is pre-roll ads? Is it like a full 3 minutes too? Is it a long time? I don't know how long it is. I'm a real streamer, I swear. I've been a real streamer for almost 1 month now as an affiliate. Oh my goodness. But yeah, today I want to talk about how do we start our novels. And to start off, I didn't want to make fun of anyone else's intros, so like I literally just had a starting scene, and I made my own intros. I just did all that to the side. The lack of sleep is caught up, but you wanted to say hello. Bye, friends. Goodbye, Noxley. I hope you get some good sleep. I know you're really tired. Thank you for stopping in and saying hi, but yeah, we'd rather you get some good sleep. And the VOD will always be up later, so it's all good. Have a good night, Noxley. Bye. I'm gonna take a sippy real quick. Oh my goodness. Oh, the model is staring at you horribly. What a horrible thing to see right before Noxley goes. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really hope everyone's not stuck in ad hell. That would be really sad. If I'm just talking to the void, no one can hear me. That's really upsetting. But then I guess if I have it as pre-rolls, everyone who just joins gets stuck in ad hell. Hello, Callie. We were just talking about the ads since you mentioned it when you came in. Right now I have it as pre-rolls. So once you're done with the ads, I think then it's only like 30 seconds of ads. I think I said it's like the minimum or something, right? It's like some of the least amount of ads, I think. I think if I want to get rid of pre-rolls, then I needed like 3 minutes worth of ads every hour or something crazy like that. That's how I understood it. Fill me with trash. Go find some good trash to eat while you listen to me yap. So I don't know if anyone has a preference for how they prefer ads on the stream. Do you guys prefer pre-rolls and then being done? Do you guys prefer having 3 minutes every hour? As long as you guys like can plan it. I have no idea how to plan it, but I guess that's a thing. You plan when the ads drop. I don't know. I'm trying to make it like the best viewing experience for everybody. I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed with ads. So if there's a better way for me to set it up, I always say you guys can let me know either here or in Discord. 3 minutes every hour is due. Isn't that what it requires to get rid of pre-rolls? Am I completely insane? Did I misunderstand something? I think that's what it had. It was something like that. I'm not the best cryptid with all this Twitch stuff. With all this internet stuff. I feel very happy that I just got this on dark mode and made this look all like cool and fancy to me. Spent a whole 15 minutes on this. I feel so fancy. But yeah, is everyone here wanting to learn about intros? How do we start our story? What's some good tips? What's some good things to keep in mind? So for that, I actually made up my own starting scene, and I just wrote some 3 little intros here to give an example, because I'd rather pick apart my own work than pick apart somebody else's, right? That's not very nice. That's not very nice to bully someone else's work. So these 3 little examples here, these are my own, and I even wrote little notes about it to the side here. So that's what that is. So for our intro examples, what is it? What is an attention hook, right? What is let's do that here. Intros should hopefully catch the reader's attention, set the tone and vibe of the story. There you go. That's what we want to accomplish. We want it to be interesting. We want it to be interesting, and it should fit. Like, you don't want to start off if it's like a super happy rom-com, super cute and fluffy story, and then you start off with like a horror sentence and like a lot of cuss words and stuff in the first like line or two, and then you never use curse words, and then nothing else is scary for the rest of the book. That's a different tone, right? You try to grab attention, but the tone didn't match. So you always want the tone and the vibe to match. It should have a strong voice. You as the writer should have a strong voice, or at least a consistent voice throughout it. You don't want to change your voice just for the intro, because then the readers might like it, and then the rest of the story doesn't have that voice, and then they'll be like, oh, I only read this because I thought this was the vibe, this was the voice I wanted to hear from, and it's not. Or even the opposite, the voice you put on in the beginning, if it's not consistent, might turn away readers. But the more consistent voice you develop later on would have been what they liked. So that's why you want it to match. You want it to be consistent throughout. So for mine, that you can kind of get an idea of mine. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's what I got. So here are my 3 examples. The first one is, Maddie shot April on a Tuesday. Her dress had looked pretty. The bullet holes had not. And I wrote here on the side, this is just my first thought, blank out of my head. This is what my brain come up with. It's short and sweet. Why is things moving around? It's just a preference for me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just a preference for me. I typically like starting with shorter sentences. I feel like they pack more of a punch. I feel like they're a stronger attention grabber. There are a lot of people who start with longer and longer sentences. That's not technically wrong. I'm just saying it's easier. It's easier, and some people, depending on their voice, naturally gravitate towards one or the other, but it's typically easier to start with a shorter sentence. Our second one that I wrote here is, April had spent every second of her life being pretty. Tragically, very few corpses look good with bullet holes, and hers was no exception. Maddie was thrilled. So this one this is a slightly different tone. It's not as punchy as the first one, but it still sets the vibe and it gives more characterization. We now know April, whoever this character is. We're going to associate her pretty much with being pretty, with her looks. And whatever the relationship between Maddie and April is, Maddie is thrilled. Maddie's thrilled that April is dead. So this sets the characters more. Maybe I should write that here. Character personality. I don't know if this is the correct way to use notes, but it's just what I'm doing. Oopsie if it's wrong, my bad. And then I have this last one here, and we're actually changing the viewpoint. The reason why I did it so differently is to show, like, there is not one correct formula for making a perfect intro, right? That's not the case. We have general guidelines of, like, do's and don'ts, and you can break those rules as long as you're purposely breaking them. You know what you're doing. But it's not a hard and fast rule. I have this little story here. I have these 2 characters. Here's 3 different ways that I started it, and they could all be usable. They could all be good. So the third one is longer, and we changed point of view to April. Of all the days to die, a Tuesday seemed too common, anticlimactic even. April hadn't given it much thought before, but dying was giving her a fresh perspective. Friday or Saturday might be best, she thought, to be the center of the weekend newspapers. Dying on a Sunday would mean she'd lose out on all the best media coverage times. Like that last line there was a little long. That one was a little chunky. Stop it. Give me here for, there we go. I don't love Google Docs. So that is the 3 different examples of, like, hey, you have these characters, you have this incitement incident, Maddie shooting April. Here's 3 different ways you could do it. Not any of them is the right or wrong way. Some of them are going to be from a point of view that's different. Some of them are going to be longer. Some are going to be shorter. Hello, what? It's good to see you. None of them are wrong. But I did very purposely start with the incitement incident, right, which was Maddie shooting April. And I tried to make it a little tension grabby. I tried to set the tone. I tried to set the vibe. And that's what I went through. I'm going to cough real quick. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm going to mute the mic. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that horrific coughing. But those are my examples we'll be referring to here, because again, I didn't want to bully anyone else's writing. That's not cool. So I put my own writing up here to bully. It's okay to bully Cryptid's writing. Not okay to bully my little raccoon's writing. So the intro should generally catch the reader's attention and set the tone vibe of the story. And things to generally avoid with intros. This isn't, again, a hard rule. You will find examples that break these rules, right? You just will. There are authors who have done it. You might like doing it. It doesn't matter. Generally, they do it in a very particular way. They knowingly break the rule. They very masterfully break the rule. And you can do that when you know the rules. When you get good at writing and get all your basics down, then you can start being more artsy and break some of these rules, right? The first one, I just like this one personally so much. It's like the mundane morning routine. You can do a morning routine if something different happens and there's something attention grabby about it. Like if somebody wakes up to the sound of explosions instead of the sound of the alarm clock, right? That's different. That's not the mundane. That's something different that would catch the reader's attention. But if it's just the general mundane morning routine, they wake up to their alarm clock, they brush their teeth, they had to choose their clothes, they look at themselves in the mirror to describe what they look like to the readers. It's been overdone a lot, and it's normally it won't be kept in any final edits. Normally an editor will have you change that if this is for a novel. But I feel like in general a lot of readers are tired of this kind of intro. And it's not near the exciting incidents. If you're doing a mundane morning routine, then just by that name alone, it's mundane. It's not near your inciting incident. And if you're ever confused about where to roughly start, somewhere around your inciting incident is a good spot to think of. So either before, during, or after, those are all valid. So like here, if we go up to my Maddie shot April on a Tuesday, this is after the inciting incident. If the inciting incident is April getting shot, this is right after it. But it's still the unnormal, the break from the mundane has happened. April has been shot. That doesn't happen every day. And this happened right after. This story picks up right after. Even the third one, Of All Days to Die. Right? That's not a normal day. You've died. You've died on a Tuesday. And you're thinking about the news coverage of your death. This is outside the normal. This is outside the mundane. That's why these intros kind of work, right? So generally, you don't want the mundane. You want this inciting incident that's outside the mundane, and you'll write it somewhere near there. Some people will be very explicit. They'll be like, write it right during the inciting incident, and I'm like, no, that's not a hard rule. You can do it just before, just after, but just somewhere around there. Whatever the interesting thing is that starts, you should be writing it around there. That's the start of your story. One of the other things I had in the avoidance area is the purple prose effect. And that's I forgot purple prose for a while. I had to look it up because I was like, it's like when you use all the fancy smancy really long sentences, and it's all convoluted, and I say it's like abstract sentences instead of concrete sentences. But purple prose, it's lots of your artsy, fancy words. There's metaphors and similes describing the sunset to whatever's happening. It will all be in very long, convoluted sentences. Sometimes it goes on for a paragraph, sometimes it goes on for multiple paragraphs. And it actually normally doesn't tell the reader anything. It doesn't tell you who the characters are. It doesn't tell you where they are. It's just very, very fancy. And normally it comes off almost as like a rookie mistake, as if like the author's trying to sound fancy, and it just makes you look sometimes a little bit more amateurish. I don't want to like say that because I think a lot of writers, right, we're all amateurs until we're like big famous best-selling novelist, right? So I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it as like it looks forced. It looks unnatural to your normal writing voice. It's not a good thing to necessarily write all the time. I wrote a scene here. I tried to make little things because again, these were generally to avoid, but you can still use them. So for the purple prose, I said it's better to ground readers in the beginning with the character, with a place. What are the characters doing? What's an action that they did, right? What's something concrete that you can picture in your mind? In my example, it was, I start with 2 characters in the first one, Maddie and April, right? So you are already picturing 2 people. We don't know what they look like yet, but we are picturing 2 characters. Actually, all of them. Second one starts with April always being pretty, and then there's the bullet holes. And then for the third one, that first sentence is a little abstract, but then here, April hadn't given much thought for. So the character's still referenced really early. You normally want it pretty early. Purple prose can be spread out in tidbits throughout the story. So like your really artsy, your fancy similes and metaphors, your longer sentences. It's better if you do a lot of it, if it's a particular character in the story's way of speaking, if it's their thoughts, if it's their speaking and they're doing it, because then at least it's from a character doing it rather than you as the writer trying to force it in. It sometimes feels a bit more natural if a character's doing it in your story. And then you can be like, yeah, it's not me doing that, it's the character. Maddie's just like that. And then every time Maddie's on screen, on your page, they talk and think like that. And then when you switch point of view to April again, or whatever other character it is, then they think normally. Feels like a bit of a breather. It feels like a bit of a fresh air when you're reading. For the mundane one, I also put an exemption. I thought you could do this if it's maybe later, if it's not your intro, if it's later in the story, after the character has gone through a change during the character arc, during the character journey. Like they've gone on this epic, mystical, magical quest. They slayed all the evil monsters. They did all this. And now they're back to their mundane life. And they try doing their mundane morning routine. And now it feels wrong. It feels unnatural. Because they got used to the fantasy or to the horror or to whatever genre you were in. They got used to the new life that they are experiencing. When they try to go back to the mundane, it feels wrong. It feels unnatural to them. And then it would be a reason why they go back to the fantasy land, to the epic action fighting hero stuff, whatever it was that you put, right? It would be a reason for them to go back because now they feel like they don't belong in the mundane world anymore. I hope this is making sense. Oh my goodness. I feel much more today like I'm talking at you guys like a teacher rather than chatting with you guys. I hope that's okay. I'll try it out for today, and if it's not a good vibe, we'll just change it for next stream. What are some other ones I don't typically like? I wrote some notes here on the side. Hold on, let me see. I have we have like you like this? Oh, thank goodness. At least one person does. One raccoon does. So I have here, I think, another one. What is this? There we go. I think another one that's pretty common is telling. What do you mean trying to connect? Connect. No. What's happening? Why is my screen dark? OBS has crashed? What do you mean? What's happening? My first OBS has crashed. You still seeing my model because that's in the second OBS, but hi. What are you doing? Let's see if we can get this set up real quick. Hold on. What is happening? Why is this doing this? There we go. OBS. Come on, OBS. It's a lot better when my teachers drilled the opening hook into... It's a lot better than when my teachers drilled the opening hook into my mind. Yeah, launch anyway. Give me my OBS. I need my first OBS to show my screen. Come on. Let's see here. I'm glad if it's at least a little bit better. I feel like I don't want it to be as like official and concrete as something at school. That wouldn't be as fun. That wouldn't be as engaging. That'd just be a random YouTube TED Talk video I would do. And I don't think I'm fancy enough for that. Okay, I think this is set up again. Are you guys seeing it okay? I don't know why that happened. Oh my goodness. Someone messaging me in the Discord? No, that's the bot in Discord just saying I stream started. Your mom made sausages and you told her to cook it with coconut oil? Ooh. No. What? Stop. Stop giving me pop-ups. I don't believe you. I'm not listening to anything you say, computer. Just deal with it. You're kind of afraid of fire, except when making scrambled eggs. Are you afraid of making really burnt charcoal pizza? Because, oh my god, you guys know I really love burnt pizza, right? I love it burnt. I love it crunchy. I want it, the charcoal makes it have flavor, right? The other day, I accidentally left it in too long. It was so bad. Oh, this might be glitching. Did help some. You put pen to pad with some of your intros. Nice. Yeah, the only way you get better at intros is if you write some, right? If you do it. That's the only way you get better. My lo-fi, please. I think my internet might not be the best right now. If I start lagging or glitching, my bad, guys. Just let me know in chat or in Discord if everything starts going wonky for you. I'll try to fix it. Right now, I don't have my lo-fi beats, though. That's really sad. You guys just have to listen to me. That's horrible. I don't know if you guys can hear my frantic clicking of the mouse. I'm trying to click on it, but it says trying to connect up here. It's not connected. What is happening? No, I love your voice. What's wrong with you? Why is all the tech issues happening now? It's been fine all day. Somebody start pinging Roots in Discord, I swear to God. Make them come out here and fix this. To edit offline, turn on offline sync? Okay. Turn on offline access, maybe? Please? Does it work? I can't click on that now. I can't click on that because it's my dark mode button. This is horrible. I'm gonna refresh this page. And then we'll see. It might come up with ads again, so if you hear the jump scare of the ads, my bad. What's wrong with me? A lot. See? See, you're biased. Man, I heard this problem with this add-on, with this extension for it, that now, since this is here, you can't... Some functions aren't working anymore, and I can't get rid of this little pop-up. I'm so mad. Man, I tried to be fancy today, and this is what I get. Oh god, that is white screen. We're gonna get out of that. Oh well. Okay, I can do that. I can't actually type. This is horrible. Someone found out the other day that she liked being picked on, and now she won't stop. I don't know what to do. But I'm kind of enjoying it at the same time. Oh no, Callie. Well, if you mention it as casually as you do here on chat, then yeah, it wouldn't take long for somebody to find out, would it? Oh no. I don't know, go out on a date with them, I guess. If you guys both, if they like bullying you and you like being bullied, I guess that's your enemies to lovers speedrun edition. Good luck with it, man. That's crazy. Did anyone, since I can't type, I can't actually write anything else, but I still have my notes here on paper. Hold on. What else did I have? Um, yeah, I had the full page of purple prose. I had the show versus telling. Normally, you can tell a little bit. You can tell, I'll be honest. Some people say like, "Oh, you always show and you never tell." You can tell a little bit. I'll be the little devil cryptid on your shoulder. You can tell a little bit, right? Like here, what is it? My first line is April had spent every second of her life being pretty. That's telling you. That's telling you something, right? But it's an interesting line. It's an interesting intro, especially then in contrast to her corpse with bullet holes. That's an interesting things next to each other. So is it a little bit telling? Yeah. Is it okay to break the rule if it's interesting, if it's fun, if it catches your interest? Yeah, then it's okay a little bit. I know some teachers, you were mentioning at school earlier what, but some teachers really try to drill into it to never tell, only show. Keep going into all the details and stuff. But with a novel, that will come up over time. That will come up naturally. There'll be times to show how allegedly April's life she's always spent being pretty. And you might see that in a flashback with her family and like pageants and stuff, or her being trying to be an actress and never letting anyone see her without makeup. There will be times to show it. But in an intro, when you're just trying to be interesting, you're just trying to have that little attention hook, it's okay to tell a little bit. It's okay to be a little naughty with that rule. It's fine. But in general, if you tell a lot, if you just kind of do a lot of stuff without showing what the character's like, then it gets to be too much. If you're doing it a ton, then you're like, shouldn't I be seeing this through the story? Like here, in the third one, I don't tell that April is shallow and focused on being famous and being pretty and stuff, right? I don't tell you that. But it is pretty shown because she's focused after she's dead that she wants the best media spot. She wants the best media coverage of her death and what's the best day to die. That kind of lets you know like, hey, this girl this girl ain't right in the head. That's kind of a better way to show versus tell. Again, the second one here. April had spent every second of her life being pretty. That's telling, but it's interesting. It's interesting as a hook. And then we'll spend the rest of the story allegedly showing it. With all her actions, with all her thoughts, with all the flashbacks, or whatever happens in the story, right? Then it's fine. Let's see here. Man, I really missed my lo-fi. There's gonna be a flashbang, sorry, it's a white screen again. Where's my internet connection? How does this work? Why is the desktop with the second OBS in my VTuber model and the Twitch, why does that one have the internets? And this one apparently doesn't, this first one. The second one is how you would probably write it. With trying to do an interesting little hook here with the telling. And then and that, yeah. Let's see here. What did I have for notes for it? Maddie was thrilled. Character's personality is more focused. And then for this one, yeah, the third one is better show versus tell. So again, you can twist the rules around if it helps with your writer voice, if it helps with that. But again, I wouldn't be doing this constantly throughout the piece. It's really good for the intro. It's really good for like particular little areas to like grab the reader's attention again. But then you have to follow through. Then you have to show it in other areas because you're telling them here, you as the writer are like kind of in an unofficial contract with your readers of like, yeah, I'm quirky and unique and I'm telling it to you now, but there's the promise I'm gonna show you this later, right? We're gonna go into it. It's gonna be this interesting thing to show you later. Um like here we're telling right away that Maddie shot April. Right? We're just saying that like, yeah, she killed her. It would probably be interesting later to show it, to show the murder scene, to show Maddie getting the bullets and stuff and getting everything loaded and tracking April down and what she does and the fallout that happens over that. So whenever you do tell, to be interesting, to be unique, to have that hook, whatever it is, you're kind of in an unofficial contract. You're gonna have to show it later. Right? You're gonna have to show it. So it's that balance. If you do nothing but telling without any showing later, then the readers are gonna be like, oh, this almost was interesting, but they just keep telling me everything. They're not showing it to me on the page. It doesn't feel like you fulfilled the contract. I don't know if I'm good at this. I'm good at yapping. I'm good at yapping. Oh my god, it's really bothering me without the lo-fi. So what else did I can't even continue writing my thing here. So let me keep looking at my paper then, since I can't add on to my stuff. My stuff here on the Google Docs that I set up with dark mode. Teach me your ways, cryptid blue person. You read a lot. You read so much. You hyper focus on reading. You find the particular things you're interested in reading and then you read it a lot. You read it like it's the only thing that gives you serotonin and dopamine because it does for many years. You make that the main part of your personality for years. For many, many years. Until you get depression and then you stop. You've been reading The Hobbit. The Hobbit, I think, is a really, really good way of showing showing how you can break a rule, right? Because we don't start The Hobbit right next to an inciting incident, right? We get this really long description of what the Hobbit homes look like. They're in the dirt, they're in the earth. Why does that work? Why does that work? He does a lot of other things that are very, very intentional. He very intentionally starts off with a not as dramatic inciting incident. And it's to show this disparity, right? A big theme throughout the work is war and industrialization compared to more cottagecore vibes, right? That's the big keywords now. Cottagecore vibes, the loving the peaceful life, the simpler life with family, with friends, with putting farmers above warriors, right? That in comparison to war and violence and industrialization, the simpler life. And so he very intentionally idealizes the simpler life, the smaller, slower pace of life and the natural life and the leaves and the trees and the parties in the beginning, because as the heroes, as the hobbits and the dwarves go on their journey, it's in stark contrast to all the shit they're gonna face. And then when the Hobbit comes back, right, it's that stark contrast again. Now they've seen all the shit out there and all the war out there and all the horrific stuff out there, and now they come back to their little Hobbit hole. So that is an example of like, hey, yeah, they didn't start near an inciting incident, but it was purposeful, and you can break a rule as long as it's purposeful, as long as you are knowingly doing it and you are intentionally doing it. That's kind of a difference there. Because some people do bring up works, like that's why I said it's generally a void. You will always find whatever rule anyone in writing gives you, you will find somebody who breaks it. You just will. Normally, if it's a fully published, acclaimed, famous work, they broke the rule, but they did it well. I think I don't mean this to bash people. I don't ever want people to read it as bashing. Normally you can break rules once you're good at them. Like you can break certain artist rules, right? With painting, with drawing pictures, you can break some rules of proportions and stuff like that once you've mastered proportions. You can break some things of color theory once you've mastered color theory. You can make a character that goes against character concept designs once you've mastered character concepts. It's something once you've mastered it, then you can break it. Otherwise, it just seems like you don't know what the rules are and you're just floundering around, right? You don't have the other basics down. So in the beginning, I'm kind of agree with a lot of the other people. It's really important to try not to break too many rules. Unless you're really, really ambitious, just try breaking like 1 or 2 max. Because their rules, they're staples for a reason, right? Get those things down. Master those basics, really. Um, hmm. Oh, hey, can I type now? Can I type? Oh, thank God I can type at least. Telling versus showing. So everything's starting to come back online. A smidge. A smidge. Alright, so I like telling versus showing. What are some other ones that we don't necessarily like that are generally like, yeah, we don't like them as much anymore. I had the morning routine, the purple prose. Oh my God, you know what else is one? The dream sequence. The dream sequence. Oh my God. Or a nightmare sequence. Some people try to be edgy with it, just make it a nightmare sequence instead. So normally with this one, it will have. I'm trying to think what normally happens. Puts you right in the action of something crazy happening. And normally it doesn't make sense sometimes too. If it's normally just a dream, if it's not a nightmare one, sometimes it doesn't always make sense. It's confusing. Doesn't always make sense or is confusing sometimes. And at the end it doesn't matter because it was just a dream. It's like disappointing. In media res. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna go to white screen again if that's bothering you guys. It's just me checking on the YouTube. Okay, it might go to ads. You might hear an ad real quick. Let's see if it's gonna work. No, you're just loading. You're just disappointing me. It's working! Thank God I don't have to listen to my own thoughts anymore. Oh my goodness. That was torture. That was pain. I'm checking my second OBS just to make sure it's processing for you guys, that you guys can hear it. Let's go over here. Yeah, it looks like it's processing, so you guys should be able to hear it. Oh my God, talk about... I was sweating over here, not gonna lie. That was bothering me. So yeah, I have this one. Let's go ahead and make a note about this one. Dismiss. This. So the dream sequence. What are some notes? When can you use it? What would be a good time to use it? I think you can. I think it's like earlier. I just prefer it later. It just shouldn't be your intro. Can be used later. Just really not as the intro. I feel like that's the key thing with it, because I even love if anyone knows Watership Down, one of the bunnies in it, one of the rabbits, does get like prophetic visions and stuff over time, but it's not like the first sentence. It's not the first few things, and they all do play out in a way, so they all do matter, right? It wasn't like useless and disappointing for readers. It does matter, and we're normally introduced to it later, and it's a repeating motif, like that bunny continues to have visions throughout the story that guides them. Is it Basil? Basil? I think that was the rabbit. I could be completely wrong, so flame me in the comments. So characters like that, if there is like a psychic, prophecy, recurring nightmares, or PTSD thing, it's ground us with the characters first in the intro, and then as the story progresses, then you can start introducing that, and that will be a repeating motif. And now that we're invested in the character, because you just introduced them normally, now that we're invested in the character, now we care about those dreams. Now we care about those nightmares. Now we're wondering what the prophecies mean. Can they break the prophecy? Hello, thank you for the follow, and I hope you like joining the Cryptid cult. Let me know if there's anything in you else want, blah 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 blah. If there's anything else you want us to talk about. I just like yapping about writing and stuff over here. But yeah, it can be pulled off later. It's a hard thing to pull off in the intro without it feeling disappointing, without it feeling like you pulled the rug out from underneath your readers. And really, writing is if it's not for yourself, if this is a novel that is to like be published, like a story you want to tell others, not just for yourself, then it's kind of a thing. You are trying your best as the writer to convey a story to readers, right? There's that kind of that back and forth to it. You're not just telling it to yourself, you're telling it to other people. Hello. You saw immediate press in the chat. Good job, Cal. You got us another follower for the Cryptid cult. That's so funny. But yeah, we're having a little thing here of what are some things we like and what are some things we typically try to avoid with intros. And if it is something to avoid, what is a way that we can incorporate it? Because writing isn't hard rules. Writing is more of an art than a science. But even with art, right, we learn rules, we learn general practices, so then we can break it later once we know. So if this is something to generally avoid, how can you incorporate it later if it is something you want to do that feels more natural, that feels more intentional? So far we've done the mundane morning routine, we've done purple prose, telling versus showing. I still have to add notes too. The dream sequence or nightmare sequence for your intro. I don't like any of these. What if the dream is like its own world that has this cause and effect relationship with the real world, where anything that happens in dreams influences the real world? Yeah, Freddy Krueger. And it's like, oh, you drink coffee in the dream world, you're out of milk in the real one. Sorry. Yeah, and again, like we see stuff like that, like in think horror, right? Think Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. If you die in the dream, you die in real life. Some sci-fi stuff now does similar things now, right? Where if you're hooked up to a machine and you have a digital avatar, but if you die in the game, you die in real life, right? Some isekai or sci-fi fantasy have done similar things. That's not exactly a dream, that's like a digital avatar, but you get what I mean. It's similar. Again, it's very hard to write that as the intro, as the intro. It might be the inciting incident before that, might be whatever's caused this, right? So like in Nightmare on Elm Street, right? It might be something with Freddy Krueger, right? You might be introduced to Freddy Krueger before, and all the shit he's doing, all the spooky stuff and all the eerie vibes, and then we're like, oh, that's spooky. What is this guy? And then it might go into like, hey, yeah, if they fall asleep, whatever happens in the nightmare happens in the real world. They'll discover that. It might be better to have that as a discovery the characters go through. And some of the isekais, right, where the characters go into a computer world, right? And then if they try to unplug in the real life, then they die. They die in the game and in real life, right? Normally that's not the intro scene, that's not the first paragraph. That might be, the intro scene might be them like in the digital world fighting monsters. And then after like a few hours of the game, they start getting the reports of like, hey, we tried taking people out of the games, they overslept, and then they die. The machine's faulty. Something's happening. They're stuck in the game. But that would happen a little bit later. That would happen like a page or two or a chapter or two later. But it's generally not going to be your intro. Again, it's all general vibes. It's all general rules. You could break it, but it's not it won't feel natural, or you have to be very careful doing it. I even had something here with the mundane morning routine, right? I said, yeah, you can have a mundane morning routine if it's later, right? If your character's gone on this epic fantasy character arc journey and then tries to return to their normal world, their normal life afterwards. And now the mundane life of waking up and brushing their teeth and looking in the mirror in the bathroom feels wrong. And now they have to decide, do they stay in the mundane world or do they go back to whatever their character arc led them to a fantasy world, to that. Oh, do you know Franken's Coffee? Franken's Coffee. I think that's how you say it. But, so I said, like, you could do a mundane morning routine. It's just typically not the best as an intro. The dream sequence, again, I think it could be done really well if it was later. And then telling versus showing, I said, can be used to hack punch if interesting, but then you must follow through showing. Frank SC Coffee. Okay. You were opening a coffee shop and live in South Carolina. That's so interesting. That's really cool. Yeah, we love small businesses in this chat. Cryptid Roots is actually a small business of me and my sibling. I'm Cryptid, they're Roots. We run a patch and embroidery business. You can find us on Etsy. And our work's been on the Grammy red carpet twice. We've done the patches for a Legoland parade before. They were pretty fancy, but I also just wanted to yap. I wanted to yap about writing, even though that has nothing to do with embroidery. This is how you start knowing everyone. Oh, very clever, Callie. I like that's very scheming. This is how you build your network. But yeah, for Frank, since you're new here, we're a very calm, friendly place. This is never to bully anyone else's writing. That's not what this is about. If we do bully anyone's writing, it is my own. We are new to Twitch. Welcome. I'm new too. I've only been here a little over a month. I did not expect to be affiliate already. We shall speak of skeletons and murderous piano tutors while drinking coffee. Very spooky, very eerie. But yeah, if you join us on Discord, there is a Discord for Cryptid Roots. And you can actually submit your own writing, little writing samples, little writing tidbits. And I'll actually review it live here on stream whenever I can. And we just give 1 or 2 critiques to help bring your writing to the next level. And if you don't like my advice, well then hey, it was free, and you can put it into the garbage for free if you don't think it suits you. But yeah, that's kind of what we're about here. We chat about each other's writing and get feedback. We chat about writing in general. Dark is in my name. Dark is Callie's game. You got a whole motto over there. Oh my goodness. So let's see here. Things to generally avoid. We had the mundane morning routine, the purple prose, which I said like you could do if it's from a character later, but just not an intro. Telling versus showing, and the dream sequence. What are some other things here? I'm gonna look at my phone. What are some other things we typically try to avoid that we're kind of tired of? I'm thinking like a lore dump. You're thinking about starting a kind of game show for writers and wanted to see how the community was. You write a lot. That's really cool. Yeah, I think before you start something as ambitious as a whole game show with multiple people, though, then yeah, it is good to kind of immerse yourself in the community for a bit too, right? I'm still immersing myself here. I'm still learning about different people and other VTubers and stuff here. It's really interesting, and everyone in this community has been so nice and welcoming. When I first started streaming, I was looking up all the tips on how to start and stuff, right? And one of the big things was people being like, hey, you're gonna You're gonna meet a lot of trolls in the beginning. You're gonna meet a lot of like bad actors and like stuff in the beginning. And honestly, except for the bots, right? There have been bots that, you know, you just like block and delete or whatever. But all the actual users, all the people here in the writing and reading category have been so nice and so amazing so far. It's been really, really welcoming. I'm glad I started my streaming time here. This already feels much nicer than Reddit. Yeah. A lot of places feel nicer than Reddit. That place makes me feel dirty. Oh no. You know, I think that was the thing too. I know NaNoWriMo's like canceled now, but when it was up, when it was still a good place to hang, I feel like the forums in the NaNoWriMo tab, in the blah 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 blah, in the NaNoWriMo website for writers and stuff, it was such a good community. It was so fun. Because there would be all sorts of different things, right? There would be like the adopted characters, there'd be people helping you find names in a different forum category. There'd be, oh my god, asking like medical people for stuff. Because sometimes as writers, right, we have like very specific stuff that happens, and you could like ask people who actually like are medical professionals or are specialized in this one particular thing, and they would give you like actual lived in like feedback that to know if it was logistical or not, if it made sense. Like people asking like, okay, if my character has is a Wolverine knockoff and has steel bones and fell off from this building, I know the bones might not break, but what would be like the skin and organ tissue damage, and how would that be affected if they fell off this building but they had steel bones? And then actual like medical people would answer back and be like, oh, you can expect this, you can expect this. This thing would break because it's not bones, it's cartilage, so they could still have damage there. Let's see. Sorry to not be on topic. No, it's okay. I yap all the time. You never have to be on topic. You just have to be polite, but you don't have to be on topic. How do you get Google Docs like that? That's so cool. It's gonna be white for a second because I'm opening a new tab, so sorry for the flashbang. I looked up Google blah 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 dark mode extension. It takes you to the Google Docs dark mode Chrome web store. This is what I clicked on. Sorry, I know it's a see an eyes dilating like a cat's, and I feel like shedding a light at you. Ooh. It was this. I will give you the thing. There are a lot of reviews of like, hey, it technically works, it looks good, but it does affect certain functions. So if I get out of this now, if I'm back over here, do you see how there's this pop-up that's like, oh, you're all set, da 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 da. I can't click the little X. I can't get rid of it because it's behind this. So it does affect like getting rid of stuff. Somebody else mentioned there's like odd little quirks sometimes, depending on maybe your Windows update, that this side scroll, like 2 out of 2 pages or 2 out of 200 pages, sometimes it won't work anymore, so you can't tell what page number you're on. Just random little errors will pop up. So it looks and feels better, but some people, and I noticed it here with this one, the functionality of your Google Docs can get affected a little bit. But for me, that didn't matter too much because I normally don't work in Google Docs. I normally write pen and paper. I'm only on Google Docs for you guys for stream. Oh, the page color. Yeah, so this still made the page white. So then I still had to do the manual thing I was doing before, which is you go to File. Hopefully you guys can see. I'll move my model. Hold on, you guys can't see it. My model's gonna move. I'm gonna move across the screen in a second. Hold on. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Excuse me. Okay, so you go to your file. You're going to go down to page setup. Okay? My Google Docs just has to change the color. Yeah, you're going to do that. And the page color here. When I still did this dark mode, the page color was still white. I won't do it here because I don't want it to burn your guys' eyes. But it was still white. I manually changed it to the black. I clicked OK. It then made the page itself black. Now the only thing about it is then you have to go up here to your text color. and you had to change it to a different color. Some people just do straight white. I thought the white would be harsh on your eyes, so I normally just do like a light gray, and it still looks white. It's just not as harsh. So I'm trying to make the viewing experience better for you guys. I'm gonna go back over to my corner now. Shh, shh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Look, I'm going back. Okay. Okay, that looks better. I'm back where I belong. Your eyes input SpongeBob meme. For some reason, mobile Google Docs have a dark mode, but PC version doesn't. Yeah. Since I'm streaming from the computer, I had to use that extension. I think you could look up if there's other extensions that are better, but I set this up like 20-30 minutes before stream started, so this is the one I chose. But yeah, if it's just for streaming for me, I don't care too much about the functionality, because I only ever use this for streaming for you guys. Normally I just write pen and paper. It's just what my brain naturally likes more. Let's see here. What did I have here? So yeah, again, we never make fun of anyone's writing here. So for my examples up here, I just I made up my own little examples. Not allowed to be that adorable? You're allowed to be this adorable, that amount is safer. What was adorable? My extension review was adorable. Me reviewing stuff, it's adorable. Callie's got some very particular kinks. That's all I'm saying. So let's see here. We had purple prose. It's better if a character does it later rather than an intro as you as the narrator. Telling versus showing. Again, we have my first one. It can be used for an intro, but you're making a contract with the reader. You're telling them now to be cool and interesting and also so unique, but then you're gonna show them later. So like I had April had spent every second of her life being pretty. Right, that's telling you. Tragically, very few corpses look good with bullet holes. Right, so I did it because like telling you here is interesting in contrast to the corpse. Like telling you, hey, this person's pretty, her corpse isn't with bullet holes. That's interesting. That's why it can be in the intro. But I'm then making unofficial contract. Since I told you here, for the rest of the story, I'll show you. I won't be just telling you, oh, April is so pretty. Me. I'll be showing you it. I'll be showing you things like how her parents always put her in beauty pageants. I'll be telling you how she's always focused on cover magazines and models and celebrities. I would be showing how, no. Gotta go, but this was fun. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, Frank. It was good to have ya. OBS, please stop messing with stuff. Bye. My screen went by. Frank did. That's screen. Why are you doing this? But yeah, there's unofficial contracts you do when you do use telling. You're promising to show later throughout the story what you told in the beginning. So I have also here, so purple prose, telling versus showing, dream sequence, or the nightmare sequence. I'm also gonna put, I said that funny. I'm gonna put, lore dumping. Lore dumping, I'll also put world building. Yeah. So, this can combine with others, like this could combine with purple prose. This could combine with telling versus showing. It could combine with multiple things. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna take a sippy. Okay. But for the readers, No action or main characters introduced. The lore and world building can be better used to spread throughout the story. There we go. That's typically it. You feel like you did 35,000 words of telling. 35,000 is so specific. 35,000 words of telling, and now you have to show people curses, houses, flowers, Celtic creatures, gods. Oh no, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah, that can feel really intimidating, right? That's one of the things where like you every story you write, every draft you write of every story, you get better and better, and you'll realize things like that. You'll look back and you'll be like, oh, that's what I'm doing. And then the next draft or the next story, now you know. Now you're gonna practice your writing muscles and your writing skills, and you try not to do that, or at least not accidentally do that. Right? You can do it with intention, but accidentally will always feel a little eh. So for like, if I'm keeping all the story times like correct, you're mentioning houses here. So like I'm gonna skip down here. So like if you had a lore dump or telling of a lore dump versus telling of houses of a world, society, culture, etc. Like there's this group. It could be the world. It could be just a small village, whatever, and that they're categorized into houses, Harry Potter style, Zodiac style, north, south, east, and west style, whatever it is. Telling might be like, oh, here's house, Southwest Tiger. Southwest Tigers. I don't know. Like, whatever the house is. Southwest Tiger, palm trees. That's our house. They are the worst house and stinky, and no one likes them. Right, that's telling. That's telling right away. What would be showing would be, again, we're following our characters. We're normally only revealing these details as it becomes important to the character that's experiencing the world or the story. So, character leaves, oh my god, what would be a good place? Leaves a bookshop and runs into someone. They start to apologize, but then notice the crest of the Southwest Tiger palm tree on the other's slope. Southwest Tiger palm tree sounds like they would make good mojitos. Oh man, okay, I can make good fantasy drink names. I can't make good house names, my bad. But I don't want to like directly copy, so I don't want to say like Slytherin. I don't want to say like the Age of Scorpius stuff, like, oh, the Scorpius house. I'm not trying to purposely make fun of any other works. I'm trying to like do a general statement, right? I'm trying to do a general like, hey, these people from this group. So you might have a scene instead where your main character leaves a bookshop, runs into somebody. They're like, oh shit, I ran into somebody, I knocked down their books. They go to help them out, they go to do all this. They feel really embarrassed that they bumped into somebody, they knocked their stuff down. And then as they're helping them up, their eyes catch on it. What's that symbol there? It's the emblem of the Southwest Tiger palm trees. They freeze for a second. Step back. Awkwardly. in the Southwest. Tiger palm person. Make fun of Ember Cage? They can afford it? Like, literally, they will just buy everything? I don't know the name. I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm being silly, but I'm blanking on what that is. So, yeah. So this person, they freeze for a second. They step back awkwardly. The Southwest Tiger Palm person would shuffle away. Brushing dirt off. And not making eye contact. The character, not you. Main character. Your house? Your house is an Ember Cage? I'm not quite sure I follow. Oh, Ember Cage is yours? Okay. I think I skipped the one before. I made up, I'm sorry, my thoughts are very slowly, so I typed 3 messages. It's all good, I just missed the previous one, so I was just like, wait, your house? What do you mean? Such a... Don't put your house address on Twitch chat, no! Save yourself. Main character notices others on the street walking a wide circle around the other person. One lady even holding her nose behind her fan. Character notices they held their breath too forcefully. Inhales, exhales. Now that the Tiger House person is gone. So you see, like in this example, obviously it's not well written, right? It's not the fancy words. This is just like the rough script of what would happen. So there's telling in the beginning, oh yeah, there's a house. They're stinky. Nobody likes them. And then that comes in later of like, no, if your character ever runs into somebody like this, you can just put the reactions of people, right? The other people might walk away from them. They might hold their nose around them. They might suddenly be awkward. They thought they were helping a normal person, but no, it's the stinky house people. They don't like them. They think they all smell bad. Even the character might find themselves doing unconscious bias stuff. Or if they didn't know if this person was hiding the fact they were part of the Stinky Tiger palm tree clans of the Southwest, whatever string of words I said. And then later on, the big reveal is their best friend is a stinky tiger. They might be like, whoa, my best friend never stank. They never seemed tiger-like. They never climbed palm trees. I don't know. I had no idea, and their biases could be challenged because of it. But that's a way to more naturally integrate the characters. The side characters or your main characters are reacting and having thoughts about stuff as they're introduced to the world, to their environment. And that lets the readers know, especially if you do it repeatedly, hey, every time one of these stinky tiger peoples comes on, like, they're stinky. People avoid them. Or, hey, now we have somebody that helped our character. And now we had to challenge our biases now. Now maybe they're not so stinky. Maybe they're not that. So that's kind of the way that you naturally integrate stuff that you show versus tell. So I think, why do they have to do stinky tigers? It started as a bit, and I'm actually kind of upset I went with the bit for as long as I did. If we were doing that earlier example of you can tell at first, like you can do a really interesting punchy intro line of telling, and then you commit to showing later. An interesting way to tell at first might be like characters A and B talking, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, like don't go to that side of the town, all the stinky tigers are there. What's up, you're on your plane to go home? Oh my goodness, decaffeinated. We loved seeing your photos in the Discord. It was really cool. I hope you have a really safe flight back, okay? Have a wonderful trip. I don't know how much you'll be able to see a stream then if you're in the plane, but I hope you have a wonderful, safe trip. Everything is about coffee today, but you don't have coffee. Me too, Callie. I normally have this mocha drink that normally helps with like my ADHD. You know, because when you have caffeine, sometimes it like calms your brain down if you have the ADHD. Makes you sleepier. I love it. I ran out of it the other day, and we haven't restocked it, and we probably won't restock it. We don't run to Aldi until Monday, so it's it's gonna be a few days without my mocha coffee drink, and I'm like, oh no. Had the safest flight, yeah. But yeah, so if I seem like a little more scattered brain today, know that I haven't had my self-medicated mocha drink for a little while. Oh, why is this glitching out? Okay, hopefully it's better. And I will continue not having my mocha and drink for the next few days. Hello, it's good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Oh, the screen. No, that looked trippy. Yeah, I thought that looked really weird. I don't know what caused it. Maybe more internet issues again with my first OBS. But otherwise, welcome, Zone. It's good to have you here. We're a really friendly community, and we talk about writing, and we even critique each other's writing. So if that's something you're interested in the future, you know, hey, feel free to check out the Discord. On brand with the cryptid theme. Not everything's my fault. I'm a very nice cryptid. Why can't we blame Roots? Let's blame Roots instead. We'll say it's Roots' fault. Roots made this happen. So yeah, that's gonna be my my example of telling versus showing with the lore dump. And that's just a good thing to know in general. You don't have to spell. What is this? I mean, 2 hours. Okay. Sorry, there's a pop-up. You guys couldn't see an OBS, but there was another pop-up that scared me. I'm like, everything stopped happening. You have to assume your readers are smart enough to pick up what you're putting down, to pick up what you're implying in your fantasy world, or whatever world you're writing in. Can be modern day, right? But you don't have to normally spell out and tell them everything about how the society works. If your character's going through whatever parts of society or world building or creatures they meet, the readers will experience that with the characters. You do mostly D&D writing and world building. That's so exciting. We had somebody here who was here the other day, a few streams ago, for D&D writing exclusively. And they were asking about, oh my god, what was it? How to know when you've info dumped too much, when you're doing too much world building at the start of a scene for your players, to when it gets into like a lore dump and it might be not interesting anymore. And how to strike that balance with setting a scene. Like, oh, here's some tidbits. This is a really cool scene for my players. To now, oh, I've monologued for like 10, 15 minutes. You're an expert at too much information. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know if you're interested or not, but the general advice, the general balance for D&D specifically is you give them... I gave the example of a vampire village, right? You want your players to come by to a village, and the vampire castle looms over them, and they have to solve a mystery with vampires. It's a whole vampire campaign, right? That's going to be an example. You have to set your adventurers up for that. And I said the general thing whenever you're setting a brand new scene is you tell them the bare basics, the bare necessities. So in this case, they pull up and they are at a village, an isolated village in the woods, and a castle looms over them in the distance, right? You'd use better words, but you give them those bare necessities that they need. Where are they? What does the exact setting look like? And then you do 2 to 3. 3 is a bit much, but 2 to 3 self is what they see, hear, and smell. Yeah, but again, you don't need that for every single time, right? So I say it's normally 2 or 3 things, and whatever they would first notice. So you set the exact scene, like, hey, you're gonna be with better words than when I'm rambling off here. They're in an isolated village, surrounded by forest in the middle of nowhere, and in the distance, up on a mountain, a castle, this grand, evil-looking castle looms over the village. The first things you might say, the first 2 things, if we're limiting it to 2, might be there's fog. There's fog that rolls over and surrounds the village and hides the first, like, bottom 2 feet, and hides all the rats and the bugs and the rot that's on the ground. So you might say the fog, and for your second one, you might even say, like, the trees. The trees tower over everything, and they cast long shadows over the village. So you'd say the fog and the trees. So you've listed your setting, and you've given two of the first things they might notice that set the tone. These looming trees and this creepy fog, this creepy mist. And now, because it's D&D is a very interesting format because it's call and response. It's back and forth. So you've given that tidbit to your players. Now the players have to do shit, right? Now they're going to ask stuff and move around and interact with stuff. So they might now hear that and they'd be like, oh, well, this is spooky. Do we see anybody? Do we see any villagers? Is there a mayor? Is there somebody that I can talk to? And then you would go, yes. And then you're going to give 2 descriptions of that. So you would go, yes, there are villagers, right, scampering around here at night. And you would do 2 descriptions on that. You would say, they all walk slowly. They all seem tired. They all seem haggard. They all seem ill almost. They don't look well. So you would do that as one. And then the second one might even be, they look very wary. They might avoid the players. They might close the doors or the windows as the players approach, or they'd walk a wide berth around them and just look at the players from a distance. So that'll be describing their actions, and that'll be describing how they look. They look sick, and they're acting paranoid and afraid. So then the player's like, okay, I'm going to go up to the first person I see. I'm going to go up to the first villager, and I'm going to ask them where the inn is, where somebody I can sleep the night for. And so then you go, okay. And you would describe 1 or 2 things for the first person they're going to talk to. And then you do, like, the funny little DM voice for whatever that NPC is. And you go back and forth. But just the bare basics and the two main important things is a pretty generally good back and forth to give the players something, but now they still want to investigate other things. So as a general guideline, that's good. The basics plus 2. Can you break that? Sure, all the time. Whatever you want to do. Can you do less? Can you do more? Yeah, whatever you want. It's a game. You don't have to change it just because a blue cryptid on your computer screen told you to. Or your phone screen told you to. That's crazy. But I know there were a lot of, and that person who was in chat before were like, well, I feel so confused. I feel lost. What is a general guideline? What's something to keep in mind? How do I start this? And since D&D is that back and forth, that call and response, it's a general 2 interesting details that you'll, like, describe in all pretty DM words and stuff. But 2 generic details is a good limit, is a good baseline for what you deliver to the players, for everything they investigate or explore or interact with. Yeah, what are the rules so you can break them? Exactly. That's why I say when you're first setting a scene, like when you first show up to the vampire village, to the castle, to the dungeon, whatever it is, that one's a little different, right? Because it's the basics, right? You had to set up that, hey, it's a village, it's surrounded by woods, there's a castle in the distance, it's looming over them on a cliffside or whatever, right? You had to set up those basics, and then it's the 1 or 2 details. So sometimes it is more. A magnifying glass is a good metaphor. Zoom in only when the players are interested in something. Yeah. So again, like whatever is the bare basics, you have to let them know they're in a room. You have to let them know they're in a village. You have to let them know they're in a a forest versus a swamp. You gotta give them something. You gotta show that they're in a sandbox. And then if they investigate, like the sand castle in the corner, then you can describe the sand castle. But first you gotta tell them, like, hey, you're in a sandbox, there's sand. and then go investigate the sand castle in the corner. Go investigate, like, the plastic buckets over here, or whatever's going on. So that's a general guideline. I hope that helps. If not, then hey. You're just listening to a blue person yap, and that's fine too. I'm second monitor content. I know my status. So that was our example. Example. I hope that helped you earlier, Callie, with like the idea of like, hey, I have all this cool world building, I have all this cool lore. What is the difference between telling my lore versus showing it in the world as my character experiences it? I hope this is like a good example of it. Keep wanting to share a spooky experience, but you're holding back? Holding back the sleep-deprived events? What happened to your sleep-deprived events? What? If you want to share, as long as it's not too spooky or graphic, you can share it in the chat. You just realized you never gave your main character or his royal family a last name. That happens. So even with you guys watched me for 30 days of November, right? Doing a shitty first draft, rough draft of my script, of my story with the hero and the witches, right? And if you notice, none of those characters had names. It was just the hero. We had the witch of the woods, the witch of sacrifice, and the witch of rot. And we had the hag, and we had general like NPC characters that we like just numbered and stuff, and like the priest. Hi Luna, wherever you are, hello. So yeah, that was an entire thing. And so all 30 days, I finished the rough draft of that script. I'm working on editing it now, off stream. I still don't have names. Sometimes that just happens. You'd be amazed how much that happens in D&D world building. Yep. I don't give anyone last names. Or digging through notes and suddenly find a bunch of random NPCs half-baked. Yep. Oh no. That's why you could just have on the one side of your DM board, you just have a little list. You just have a little list of generated names, like first and last names, for like different things. Like, oh, here's 3 or 4 elf names. Here's 3 or 4 merchant names. Here's 3 or 4 human names. Like whatever you need. Sometimes there's even like if you have like a vampire werewolf campaign, here's 3 or 4 werewolf names. Here's 3 or 4 vampire names. And they just stay there, and then as soon as you use one, as soon as you like use one of the players ask for a name and you've used it, like, oh yeah, this werewolf is Clawface McFur the third. you just quietly, after they're done like interacting with that NPC, you like scratch it off. And then later on, after that session is over, then you're just like, oh hey, I used like 2 elf names and I used 3 human names and I used a werewolf name. Let me go before the next campaign starts. I just had to generate some more NPC names. Should I just randomly assign everyone a last name 35,000 words in? You can make a note to yourself. Like I said, you're on your first draft, you're on an earlier draft, right? That's the kind of stuff that then you insert with intention during your second draft, during your third draft, whatever draft it is. So that's just a note you can make off to the side. I do stuff like that where I have like my main notebook of stuff, and then I'll realize shit. I'll be like, oh, this is a plot hole, I had to figure it out. Or, oh, this happened, now I need to go back to act 1, scene 1 and fix something. Or chapter 2 and fix this because of what happened in chapter 35, right? So you just make a little note there, and then when you do your next pass or your next draft of it, that's the kind of stuff you insert. Then you left scratching your head like, who the F are you people? How about just to spin a wheel on a random name generator? Yeah, but even for me, like, at least I love those random name generators. I love all those websites. It's like, still, sometimes you have to like click it a few times to get the right vibe of names, to get like the right feel, to get the right mixture of it. Sometimes even if you like a couple, then when you like select your 3 or 4, you'll realize that they all sound very similar because you have a very particular taste. And you're like, shit, no, like then that makes them sound too close together. I need them to sound more unique. So then you had to spin it a few more times. You had to like change them around a bit. That's why it's good to have a couple on hand, and then like after the session, if you've used them, you spend a few more minutes on the random name generators to make up some more. Osric Neverbone. Man, I just realized what that sounds like, but it rolls off the tongue. I was gonna say, I first read it as never born, and I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. It sounds like he was never born, like he was never a baby or something. And it was never bone. And I'm like, oh no. See, that's why it's important to have the randomly generated things off to the side of your campaign on your DM board or something. Because if you just come up with stuff off the cuff, you'll accidentally make up stuff like that to a group of players who will laugh at you forever. They're like, oh, can we talk to Neverbone again? Come on. I want to talk to Neverbone. I want to talk to Evervirgin. They'll make fun of you forever. When you accidentally give the same last name to 2 NPCs, yep. And the players assume they're related. And then you're like, shit, that wasn't part of the plot. Oh no. Sorry, yawn. So yeah, that's why I like having the little handy dandy cheat sheet of NPC names you've pre-made off to the side. That way if they're ever like, oh, I need to see a merchant about fixing my magic sword. And then you just like look over here, you look to the side like, oh yeah, fucking random ass merchant name. Adam McAdamson. See, sometimes it's hard to come up with that off the cuff. But if you're like, oh yeah, Adam, the creator of all that once was, the firstborn of all magical artifacts, then you're like, oh, and then you have like a cool little NPC name there to boop, right off your sheet. Yeah, there you go. Here's who you're gonna meet. It makes you sound more prepared than you really are. Because let's face it, as a DM, sometimes you're never really prepared for the shit your players do. Do we have anything else we dislike or that we have trouble with our intros? Hold on. Osric Neverbone is so fitting though, because he has like the worst personality, and 3 of the women he tried to marry have left him behind, and now he's a flesh-stealing skeleton. So that might not be his legal name that he was born with, because then that's almost a little bit too on the nose, unless you're working with like that kind of quirky naming logic, right, where the name they have it kind of fits them too well. Sometimes that happens in anime and stuff too. So unless it's that kind of quirky vibe, that might not be his name he was legally given at birth as a baby, but it could be like what other characters in universe refer to him as because of those reasons. They're like, oh yeah, he's like Osric Never something, right? This height fancy, but everyone in the village calls him Osric Neverbone because, you know, these 3 women have left him and he's a flesh-stealing skeleton. Like they might refer to him as Osric Neverbone because of that. Like it's a name they gave him. Oh, so the characters make fun of him now. They could, if you wanted to keep it, if you wanted to do it, that would be a fun way to insert it. You don't have to. You don't have to listen to anything I say. I'm just a blue person on your screen. When my screen works and it doesn't glitch out. So let's see, we have the mundane morning routine, purple prose, telling versus showing, the dream sequence, and lore dumping. What are some other things? Sorry, I'm yawning, I'm tired. Around the list here, I'm just looking at some other list of people who have like gripes with stuff on like Reddit. One of them is zillions of characters when you start with like a bunch of characters. I don't think that one's as common, that's not as big of a trope. So I think it's not necessarily zillions of characters, but when you have the unimportant characters at the start. Character saturation, yeah. I don't think that's as common of an issue. Does it happen with some people? Absolutely, especially in some scenes. Is it a super common intro problem? Not that I've noticed. I don't see a lot of people struggling with that. What I do notice with a lot of my raccoons is the wrong or unimportant character that they start with. And that could be one unimportant character or it could be a zillion. That doesn't always happen. Starting the story, a lot of dialogue or thoughts and feelings, point of view on a character we never see again and who wasn't important to the plot. Now, obviously there are cases where you Game of Thrones is guilty of it at some points. Yeah. I think zillions of characters, it's very easy to do the bigger cast you have. The bigger cast of characters, it gets easy to be overwhelmed. I've had a thing too where I mentioned to my raccoons of like, hey, kill off your darlings. You don't need your main character to have 50 best friends. You don't need your main character to have 10 best friends. Realistically, your character can just have like 1 or 2 best friends. We don't need to know the names of 50 best friends. That's crazy. We don't even need to know the name of 10. There can be, you can narrow down the roles of that to just 1 or 2 characters. Osric, Gawain, Despina, Jella, Nell, Isabel. What is all this? I know this is too many characters. I mean, kind of. If they're all in one scene and we're all hearing about everything, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. If that is 14 characters in one scene, all interacting with each other and having dialogue and going back and forth, that is a bit to be keeping track of. And it's really easy to slip into the thing too of where you forget to include what a character's doing, so it feels like they're just standing in a corner. With a big cast of characters, it's very easy if they're all interacting with each other, where you write like, oh, A and B are fighting and C is trying to break them up, and then character D comes in and gives devastating news. So character A rushes out, character B stays behind, character D tries to get them to go with them, and then after this whole entire scene you're like, wait, what happened to character C? They were fighting. What did they go out with character A? Did they stop? Where are they? With a big cast of characters, it gets easy to get lost and forget to include what every character is doing in that scene. So it's something you have to balance. Normally, for a larger cast of characters, we see it for horror, for slasher fix. Why? Because we're gonna kill off those characters. We need a big cast so we can start narrowing them down. That's a good point. How do you do council scenes? That's a very good question. So normally, if it's right now we're talking about intros, or do you mean specifically with an intro, or do you mean like in the middle of a book, like plot relevant? So for an intro, normally not every single council, let's say there is 50 members of a council, right? I'm gonna go big. There's 50 members of a council. You might not need to write for an intro every single of the 50 members' opinions and debates. For, let's say the opening scene is your characters at trial, and they had to decide if they're going to execute them, right? The opening scene, they're going to decide they want to execute your character. There's 50 counselors. So there might be somebody in charge, there might be a head counselor, and you'll write down whatever they do. And then you'll have whichever ones will be the most plot relevant later. So if you have a counselor that your character's going to kill later, because they're an assassin, right? Like whatever fucking bullshit it is, right? You might write down stuff that they do. If there's a counselor who's like shifty, who's going to be a traitor later, who's going to backstab the council, you might focus a bit or two on there of how they seem to listen to what other people say. Everyone else who's like an NPC level counselor, which could be like 40 plus of them. The Elder Scrolls start lol, either execution or jail. Yeah. So there's one of, so the Elder Scrolls one, right? There's one who is giving you the sentence, like they have captured you. He's telling you, like, yeah, you're going to jail. We're gonna execute you. Cryptid doubled up on the curse words tonight. Did I? Wait, I didn't mean to. I cursed a lot the other day with the game Donut County towards the ending with some of those puzzles in the boss fight. I don't even want to talk about it. I was so mad. But what was I saying? Yeah, you can tell I don't have my mocha drink. So you don't need to write down every single of the 50 counselors' opinion on whether or not your character should be executed or not. You'll write down the big important ones, the ones who might be reoccurring characters. The others, you'll do more as vague things, like you'll have like a cool description of like, oh, they all like leaned their heads together and murmured, their voices clashed as they all called for your murder, called for the execution. They all asked the head counselor, we should murder him, we should do this, da 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 da. Right? You'll normally write them as a group, as what they are all doing, and then the important ones, the ones that are reoccurring characters or important characters, you'll write little things. So you might even say things like, oh, some of them brought their heads together to whisper to each other, like seeing if you looked guilty or not. Some of the others started not caring. They almost looked like they could nap. They couldn't give less of a shit if your character died or not, even though their fate's literally in the council's hands. So you'll write things like that. You'll give general things that these groups are different minor groups in the council will do. And then you'll say, oh, and then one of the counselors off to the left looked a little shifty, looked like he was keeping an ear open for what the council at large was trying to do. And that might be like the traitor leader. And then finally, like the head counselor like lifts her hand up and says silence, and asks everyone to cast their vote. So you'll list descriptions of the main people, or whatever council members your character focuses on, right? Because they might focus on someone who's not a main character. They might just focus on someone ahead of them, or they might hear a noise, like annoying snoring off to their left as somebody like literally being asleep while they're deciding if he lives or dies or not. So you'll just write some details, some trends, and then whoever stands out from those trends or is apart from the group, those are what you actually focus on. My story has... I hope that made sense. Sorry. I'm just thinking back, man, I hope that made sense. I can write a thing here. So we have the example here. I can do another example. Let me see what can. Story has a resurrection for one house. Another house is immortal. Well, if one can be resurrected, doesn't that kind of make them immortal? Oh, anyway. And the third one turns into phantoms. IDK had to kill anyone off. That could be a plot relevant thing, like, hey, they all thought they were basically immortal, right? Either as phantoms or as immortals or as resurrected beings and stuff. And then somebody like actually like gets got and they're like, oh, this shit's serious. So an example, how to handle a large cast council. Too much. Writing down what counselor 1 says, what 2 disagrees with, what 3 looks like, how 1 calls out to 4, how 5 and 6 are debating something else, etc., etc., etc. Too much detail gets boring. Most of characters aren't plot relevant. There we go. Oh, they can be captured. Oh, okay, so it's hell of a boss logic. Okay. So in Hell of a Boss, I don't know if anyone's watching that show, but one of the things is there's a, not Hell of a Boss, Has Been Hotel. In Has Been Hotel, one of the things is there's a radio demon in hell, and all of the sinners in hell can't be killed except for angelic weapons. And you're like, oh, okay, they can die, just most of the time they don't. But the radio demon gets super, he's well known in hell for being scary. All the other demons and sinners are scared of him because he has risen to the ranks of an overlord in hell really, really fast. He toppled other overlords. And your first thought might be like, wait, unless he killed them, which it doesn't say he does. He doesn't use angelic weapons. Unless he killed them, how did he topple the other overlords? How did he beat them? And it shows that, like, oh, he captured them. And he played their screams on the radios for everyone to hear. But we never hear the fact that they die. He doesn't kill them. He can't kill them, because if he does, they just get resurrected back in hell. It's kind of useless, you know? So he allegedly just has captured them and is torturing them all the time. Because we never see he can't kill them. He doesn't have angelic weapons. If he does kill them, they just get resurrected back. And then they would be escaped. They'd be free. So there's this middle ground of like, oh yeah, they're captured and they're just permanently captured somewhere, being tortured forever off screen. And yeah, when you have a lot of like basically immortal beings like that, that's kind of the stuff that happens. Is there not an overpopulation issue in yours if nobody can die? I think eventually that just gets to too many people. I also get annoyed by people, so if I lived for like 3,000 years and then my next door neighbor also lived for 3,000 years, there'd be a point where I'd crack, you know. There'd be a point where I'm like, something has to kill us. Something has to kill us. I had to find a way to kill that neighbor. They keep shining their Christmas lights directly into my window every single Christmas. Oh my god. It's flashing lights. They're so bright directly into my bedroom window. What are you doing? There has to be something that gives at some point. That got way too specific. My bad. Peace and love to my neighbors, I swear. So yeah, this example, you don't want to write down everything, especially since most of these, if it's a 50 counselors, 50 group, right? Like that, it's 50 people. Better grasp. Writing what general groups, subdivisions are doing. If it fits the vibe. Then focusing more on what main characters, recurring characters are doing specifically. Let's see here. I said writing in detail about what the head council woman would be doing, and the main antagonist counselor who wants to kill the main character. Briefly, counselors are snoring, others are whisper gossiping. Some are just mindlessly voting for execution because they don't value the character's life. So that's what I had there. Like that would be how you don't have to write every single individual one. It's just the groups. It's just general things that happen. Oh my goodness, I'm so sleepy. I wish I had my milk a drink. Oh, I spelled gossiping wrong? Or whisper gossiping. So should I just put or quietly gossiping? Gossiping. Quietly. There we go. Be better. So that's how I'd handle a large cast. What else do we have? And that helps with the wrong and important characters at the start. Too many characters at the start, too. Do we have anything else that we typically don't like for intros? We have, let me go back, the mundane morning routine, the purple prose, the telling versus showing, dream sequence or nightmare sequence if you want to be edgy, lore dumping and world building, and wrong or unimportant characters at the start. So we went into too many characters. The wrong or unimportant characters at the start is when you start the point of view from like a random NPC that's then never mentioned again. Like let's say you start with like a taxi driver and your character's in the taxi with them, and you end up learning like everything about the taxi driver's life, and the taxi driver has like a lot of dialogue and a lot of lines and describes everything and does all this different stuff, and then your character leaves the taxi after like 30 pages, and then for the rest of the novel that taxi driver and the family and stuff is never brought up again. It's like, wait, then why did we go through 30 pages of learning about this taxi driver? He was never important again. He had like the starting dialogue. I don't understand, right? That would be for an intro, for doing the intro, that the introduction to your whole story, starting with the taxi driver who's never mentioned again, is the wrong start, right? That's not the main character. You would start it with your main character who is in the taxi, and he might be ignoring or like tuning out a lot of what the taxi driver says. And then we as the readers would just get a snippet or two of what the taxi driver is saying before our character leaves and like doesn't even tip or something, the taxi driver. And go, so do you see how like that change? We're now following with the main character. That now makes more sense. But we don't have to actually start with this random side character and learn all the details of them and stuff. We don't need all that. They're not important. We just need the general vibe. We need the general vibe of like, oh, our character's ignoring them. Our character's being rude. Our character's being dismissive. Our character's like not even gonna tip and stuff. It's just gonna walk away. He doesn't consider these people valuable. Right? That gives us more info on our character rather than info on the random taxi driver. Callie giving me a face. Hopefully that helped. Help rephrase it. So yeah, don't focus on the wrong characters. Everything should be serving the important characters. Leaving readers asking, who was that taxi driver? It was focused on, what are they hiding? Yeah. That's why I said, like, if you do like 30 pages and we've learned all about the taxi driver, we're gonna assume now the taxi driver is our main character. So then when we leave and the taxi driver is never brought up again, it's like, hello, I read the first 30 pages of this because I was dedicated to the taxi driver. And now it's nothing about this fucking taxi driver. Your faces are decoration? Oh, okay. You're just decorating the chat. In the end, writer forgot the taxi driver existed. Yep. That's right, having a plot outline, a rough plot outline could really, really help. Even if it's just something as stupid and rash as, what did I have here? Character leaves bookshop, runs into someone. Start to apologize, then notice the crest. They freeze, step back awkwardly. Brushing off dirt. Main character notices others on the street, right? It can just be stuff like that. It doesn't have to be your fancy pretty words and all your artsy fartsy, like, oh, this is what it will look like in the final draft, right? Your first draft will never look like the final draft. If it does, you didn't do enough editing. So please feel free just to do a really shitty rough outline, do a rough draft, make it as shitty as possible. It's fine. It then makes it easier to fix and edit and rearrange stuff. and keeping track of your characters like that. Make it exist first. Yeah, the entire purpose of a rough draft of a plot outline is just to get done. Some people try to focus on making a first draft a pretty draft, and I'm like, that's not its point. A done draft is a good draft. A done rough draft is absolutely perfect. Even if you only keep 5% of it, because now you realize the other 95% is trash. Then it served its purpose. It helped you. It helped you figure out what you didn't want anymore and what you did need. So yeah, your rough draft, your first draft, can be as shitty and messy and quick and bad as you need it to be, as long as it gets all your ideas out there. And then once that's done, now you can focus on fixing it for the next few drafts. And after you've fixed your plot and your characters, now you can start working on the pretty words and start all the drafts and edits after that. It will be a lot of drafts and edits. You get back into world entries multiple times. The work is never done. Yep, it's never done. Especially if you go into traditional publishing. I know there's a lot of critique now that traditional publishing traditional publishing houses aren't editing as much as they used to. So maybe it's better to say like a couple decades ago. Traditional publishing, the main reason why people chose it is because all those edits were free, right? The traditional publishing house covered all the rounds of edits, and to be clear, it was a lot of round of edits. But they made good books. The more edits you do, if you pay attention to them and you apply them and you work hard, each round of edits makes your book better, makes your story better, makes your storytelling better, the actual storytelling you do. And trust me, it is a lot of round of edits. People even comment there's a developmental edit hell where you're just focusing on the characters, the character arcs, the setting, the scene, the pacing, the overall plot. What are plot holes? What's all this? You can be stuck in developmental hell because after your first edit, you might have had to delete your first 3 chapters because that wasn't really the start of your book. So you deleted the first 3 chapters. You got rid of the 5 best friends of the main character and you only made it to 1 best friend. But now you have new plot holes because you deleted chapters and you crunched down on the friends on the character list. So now you need another developmental edit in order to fix the new plot holes you made. And then, okay, you fixed the plot holes, but now that we're looking at stuff, and like the character arc is still a little shoddy. Like now that we went from 5 best friends to 1 best friend, the character arc needs to be more solid. So now you do another developmental edit to work on. There's a developmental edit hell where you're just focusing on the broad stuff. The later edits, like the line edits and the copy edits and stuff, that normally doesn't get as crazy. Hello, Kyo. It's good to see you. We're over here talking about intros and stuff. I got sidetracked by editing as I normally do, but we're here talking about intros. If you have any intros that you like or dislike, please feel free to let us know. I gave examples of my own intros earlier, and we're talking about intro tropes we don't like. And if it's not necessarily a hard rule that you can't do them, I say things to generally avoid. So I'm giving stuff like, hey, avoid this. If you don't, here's a way you can apply it. Because again, nothing is 100% a no-no. It's just having the skill and having the knowledge on how to apply it better, on how to apply it well. But we have a mundane morning routine where you wake up to an alarm clock, you're brushing your teeth, you choose your clothes. We have the purple prose, we have telling versus showing, you have the dream or nightmare sequence, we have lore dumping and world building as your intro, and we have the wrong or unimportant characters at the start, instead of your main character at the start. So if you edited the first 2 books you published, you would be famous right now. Because my second book was barely edited past chapter 5, and you got good reviews. Well, I'm glad you got good reviews. So I'm guessing if they were actually edited, their reviews would be like, wow, and no other words. Yeah, generally, if you can have other critique partners, other editors, other rounds of it, whatever your weakest point is, if you're self-published, sometimes I know that those rounds of edits you can't afford, which is again why those that's the appeal of traditional publishing, right? All those edits are covered. You don't pay for those. In self-publishing and indie publishing, then you do. And that's why a lot of indie and self-publishers can't afford it. So that's normally where you rely more on beta readers, on critique partners, on submitting for feedback, like here for Storytime. Like that's where you try to rely as heavily as you can on that stuff. On other friends who are readers, and they'll read it and they'll give you feedback. You try to rely as much as you can on that and get as much of that. And then once you find a good beta reader or a good critique partner, then you never let them go. You keep them forever. Because sometimes it's really, really hard to find good ones. You can find some. You can find any beta reader, you can find any critique partner. Finding a good one that you vibe with, that you match with, that gets the story you're trying to tell. When you find them, you hold them on. You hold on to them forever. You lock them in your basement if you have to. Give them food and water. Let them see a little sliver of sunlight every few days, and you're good. Usually like in media res style intros, but they can be done so poorly that it's rare for them to stick the landing. Yeah. And I think, again, sometimes it's also if you are forcing a style of writing because you're trying to follow these guidelines. If it's not in your style, if that's not your voice as a writer, and then you try to do a good intro just because that's the rule, quote unquote. I say rule loosely. Of like, oh, it has to be this, but that's not how you naturally write. Then it always feels awkward. Then it always feels forced. I think I got a good one in you. Oh, yay! I don't do full beta reading or critiques, to be fair. Whenever I do critiques for you guys, what do? I limit it to 2, right? There's no more than 2 critiques. A full critique partner or a beta reader will highlight as much as they know, as much as they can see. And that's what a full critique or beta reader or something will do. Full editor, right? You're paying them to catch everything that they can catch to make your work better. Since this isn't to bash people, and the thing is, right, you're showing your work live on stream, right? That's very scary. That's very intimidating. It's scary for me to show my rough drafts and my writing process on stream. So I know it's also scary for you guys to trust a random blue person to show your work live on stream. Here on stream, we limit it to just 2 critiques. Because there's also the bad trope of people saying like, oh yeah, let me have it. Give me all the critique. Give me all the feedback. And then you give them critique and feedback, and then they're like, you hate my work. You gave it a bad review. Thank you so much. It's so mean. And then they were like run away crying, and you're like, no, I just gave you the critique. I gave you the feedback to help it. Some people aren't. So limiting it to 2 critiques. It has been working pretty well on stream so far. Has spotted Cryptid, promises to feed them well. Dang it. Don't worry, Roots already feeds me. I already have someone who feeds me all the time. I'm over here like, Roots, and then they feed me. Everyone, don't forget to hydrate. Everyone drink well. But yeah, so if you like whenever I do review and critique your works, no, it's still just the intro level. I'm doing baby critiques here because I want to be friendly and I want to be a good intro place for it on the internets, right? This is a good little intro for it. Well, you've been debating starting your own late night writing streams lately. IDK though, when I try to write on stream, you get distracted. Yeah, that's the big thing here, right? You guys get me yapping and we go off on tangents. So that was the pivot. Originally, when I first started streaming, the 1st of November, I didn't think anyone would watch the stream, right? Because I was a newbie. So the plan was, yeah, I'm just gonna write and yap a little bit to myself because there would be no viewers, and I'll just write for myself and I'll just learn how to stream. But as I got viewers and then I got affiliate and then I got more viewers and I got all my lovely raccoons here in chat, I pivoted myself, right? I had to start for my 50k word challenge goal for November. I had to start writing seriously off stream. And I just write a little bit if I could on stream, but I'm mostly yapping, so that's the bit. I changed this into kind of a yapping about writing, and writing technique stream and about each other, doing the critiques. That's what seemed to work for me to keep my raccoons engaged, to keep chat engaged, to keep viewers interested, and to keep getting followers. And that's the goal, right? For me, Cryptid Roots is a business. Cryptid is a persona for our business. So for me, as much as this is fun, and this is a fun outlet for me in a business, I am doing this with the goal to get better and to build on momentum. If you are streaming just to stream and have fun, then you might not do that. Then you might be like, yeah, I'm not going to get distracted by chat on stream. I'm just going to write. And if I happen to chat a little bit with chat, that's fine. But I'm mostly going to focus on writing, and it will be a silent stream. So it just depends. You have to have a goal. You have to know what you want out of streaming. If it's to have fun and be engaged with chat and get engaged with other readers and writers and creative people like that, then it's okay to be distracted, because your goal isn't to get 10,000 words done a night. Your goal is to hang out with people who also like writing. And that's what this is kind of evolved into, right? If your goal is to get writing done, and you know you might get distracted, then that might not be a good mashup. You might know you need to get writing done off stream. You wouldn't be able to do that. Your time is stretched enough as it is. I feel ya. I normally don't give myself a lot of fun, relaxed free time, because I feel really guilty when I do it. Normally a lot of stuff goes into the business, and that's why I get sick and I don't recover very well afterwards. So this, forcing myself to stop the embroidery machine so I can stream, has been a fun thing to do that still serves the business, so I don't feel guilty doing it, because I'm like, yeah, it's still helping our brand, it's still helping us get noticed. So it's been a nice little balance for me. But do you know, yeah, I do pivot depending on what the viewers are into. I wasn't going to continue doing writing or reading at all when I first started. It was just supposed to be a thing for me during November. As I got my raccoon following here in chat, what did that turn to? Oh yeah, I'm still going to stream during December. It will just be not every single day. It will be a couple times a week. You put pressure on the back of your head and now you feel weird. Kelly, are you okay? Do you have this thing called a headache? Do you need to drink more water? Do you need to take some Advil or ibuprofen? Oh no, my poor Callie raccoon. But yeah, no, I think the best thing with streaming is know what's your goal with it. Because for me, my goal was to have fun for a bit, and then eventually, once I learned how, build up followers. It happened faster than I planned it to, and now what do? I'm paying attention, and I'm trying to grow more followers and get more engagement and get more traction and stuff while still having fun. So I do try out different things. I do try out a different streaming schedule. I try streaming a little earlier or a little later. I try to see what things keep you guys responding in Discord. What's some fun things we can do there. I tried doing dark mode because people mention, hey, light mode hurts their eyeballs. I tried streaming games because I wanted to go into games more to give my brain a rest from all the thoughts of writing and all the big brain thoughts I have, right? And I see, okay, how engaged are my viewers now that we switched to a different genre, now that we switched to gaming? Are there different types of games they're more engaged with than others? You stream as a hobby, so you don't really care about followers, right? Yep, and that's the goal, right? If you're just doing it to have fun, then you won't be distracted because the goal isn't to get more people in your chat and engaged. Your goal is just to write on stream and have fun. But you still feel obligated to be entertaining. Yeah. And getting writing done while being a jester is hard. Yep. Is this why you get adopted? I don't know, Callie. Oh no. So I started following a few writers since I started lurking this category. A decent amount of writing sprinters. Yep. And I do notice with a lot of those, sometimes they are silent or they can't be as focused and engaged on chat and the writing, right? They just they chat with chat for a little bit and then they focus on the writing and then they go back to chat, and that can lead to not as engaging moments. And that's one of the things too, when I was analyzing, I analyzed a lot of social interactions. Someone before said, oh, like you said you might be autistic. I don't see it at all. And I'm like, it's because you don't know me. Anyway, I was analyzing social interactions. And I was like, why am I getting followers? Why am I getting chatters when I thought nobody would ever watch my stream when I first started, right? Why was that happening? Why when I'm noob and I don't always know how to work my model and I know nothing about Twitch, how is this working? And I realized, oh my god, I am yapping the entire time. I am chatting with you guys the entire time. I am losing my voice the next day because I was chatting with you guys. And how long were my streams? My streams were 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. One of my streams during November was 7 hours of non-stop talking and yapping and responding and engaging with you guys, right? And that's not a bad thing. That's something I enjoy doing, and I would argue I'm semi-decent at. That's why I'm good at customer service back when I worked retail jobs. I can be very, very friendly and I can talk with people for a while because I analyze social interactions like that. But that was the pivot. That was figuring out what works for my goals. And my goals was, hey, I want something fun. I want something that keeps me entertained. I want a way to have fun because I work all the time. But the only way I can have fun is if it's related to work, if it's just a more stress relaxed version of work. And so this is the VTuber. This is Cryptid for Cryptid Roots. And so since it's still part business, there is business goals involved, but it's the more relaxed version, right? It's the more behind the scenes, just hanging out and chatting with Cryptid, rather than like the TikTok or the Instagram or all the stuff where like you're selling things all the time. I don't want to sell things here. I'll mention the business, but I don't want to sell anything to you guys here. That's not fun. I always feel like really like defeated, or like in the cycle of advertising on other social media platforms, and I don't like them. The VTubing, the streaming, right, is just a way for me to still be part of the business, but have fun with people, be engaged with people. Which I think after 2020 has been really hard for us as a society, right? It's been really hard to connect with people again since COVID, and like the world kind of changed on us. Decent amount have timers you've seen. Yeah. If it works and they get stuff done, I'd say the trade is worth it. Yep. And again, if that works for them, that works for them. But do I also sometimes like see like people go into a stream, and if you compare writing and reading compared to other streams in other categories, why do some of the other categories have more people engaged? Because the streamer is either doing a game or chatting with them or being engaged and doing something fun. Reading and writing, or writing and reading, that's what the category is called. If you are doing long sprints of time where you're not engaged with chat, it can be not as fun as a viewer, right? And there is that entertainment factor, right? I am trying to yap and entertain a little bit here, or make my thoughts at least semi-coherent on stream. So I think that's sometimes the disconnect when I realized, oh, a lot of other people in this category, weren't necessarily engaging all the time with their chat. But I was spending up to 7 hours of non-stop. I did not get up to like even like go eat or use the bathroom or anything. Like I'm used to retail, right? I was a supervisor at different retail jobs. I can have a really long shift just being on, mentally and like social interaction being on and yapping and chatting with you guys. I full 7 hours. I did not get up from my seat. I just yapped the whole time. You hereby mark this as your favorite stream. Oh, that's very kind of you. You don't have to do that, but thank you. Also, you're sleep deprived. Yeah. I assume you are frequently, though. Maybe I'm wrong, but I got that vibe. You started streaming simply because your girlfriend always said she saw me as a streamer, and eventually she bought you a mic. That's cute. Rest is history. She gave you the push and needed to be edgy and yap online. Nice. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to do it, I always say try it. You know, now that I've had such a good experience here, and starting to stream, especially in this category, I'm very firmly in the category of try it out. Do it. Do whatever you want. This is a fun, creative way to be on the internet and hang out with other people on the internet. And I miss that. I really miss that kind of vibe and community. When I was a young cryptid, right, we had a lot of forums and a lot of indie websites, and it was a lot more prevalent to be engaged with individuals like that on the internet. And I think this is a way that it's still possible to achieve that. And so I really like it. So if you have an idea, if you want to try something, I fully recommend it. I'm not trying to like convince you not to do it. Fully in support. I'm just saying know what you want. Because if you know what you want and you go for that, then you won't be disappointed. If you start trying to mix things around, if you start trying to be like, oh, I'm just doing this for fun and to get followers and to get attention off stream onto other social media sites and to get brand deals and to get, if you start mixing too many goals, they all sometimes defeat each other. They all sometimes don't serve a purpose. You don't think your brand is the right vibe for this category, judging by how nice and chill your chat and other chats in this are? That's your only concern. You could start a different. You could be like Kyo Senpai 2. Kyo Senpai 2. And you could just do that for here. And that would be like your niche, right? You'd be like, hey, all the other reading and writing stuff is like chill. Do you want to have a reading writing person who's like chaotic and like curses more and is crazier and more edgy and hardcore? I'll start an muted channel. Just don't talk. No, that could be your niche, is that you are like the less chill one. You are the one if people want the edgy stuff. You are the one if they want the more chaotic, edgy writing stream. That could be your niche. But if you don't want your audience from your normal streams and you think, oh, I don't think this is something they would like, you could do a separate channel and just whichever stream you want to do tonight, that's what you focus on. That's even with YouTubes, right? If you ever notice how a lot of big streamers or a lot of big VTubers, they have multiple YouTube channels. If you've ever wondered why, it's for the algorithm and the separation of audience, right? They'll have a shorts one, they'll have a VODs one, they'll have a main one, and that's all to separate because people who generally want to watch the shorts don't want to watch the VODs. Those are separate, generally, audiences. And if somebody does like both, right? If there's an audience member who does like both, they'll go the extra step to be subscribed to both. You know, if you notice it with ours, right? We have the general Cryptid Roots YouTube channel. And then I also have another YouTube channel just to store the VODs of me effing around on the internet and figuring out how to VTube. Because the people who follow our main channel for our patches and embroidery and following on with our business aren't interested in me failing at Donut County boss fight. Those are different audiences. Those aren't even the same people who are interested in me doing a writing challenge as a blue cryptid on stream. Those are all different categories. So you separate YouTube channels. You can have separate profiles for different streaming content. If you feel like your audiences just won't mesh, or you want to try something new without your previously established audience seeing you flounder around. You'd be amazed about mute channels. Your friend has a game channel that is just games for the background, no talking. Call it gaming ASMR. Yes. There's a lot of times when I want like a game walkthrough. I don't want the fucking YouTuber like yapping and stuff. I just want to see like the little clip bit that I need. So me and Roots, like we have watched on YouTube hours worth of gaming content with people who do not talk. And then the people that we do watch play games where they do talk and interacting with commentary, it's normally a personality that we like, right? It's like Manly Badass Hero, or it's like Gap Smolders. We like those people, so we like seeing them game. You'll take this into consideration. I think even my main audience would be okay with it. They're not flexing here. I'm very thankful. Usually in my stream to talk to you. That's awesome. Not specifically, yeah, that's a really good vibe. I'm so grateful just with my small amount of my raccoon horde here that just listens to me. You guys are all very wonderful raccoons. Yeah, I get what you mean. It's not flexing. Yeah. But I'm so super happy that your audience is chill with that and likes engaging with you and likes chatting with you. Then yeah, you might not need to do a Kyo Senpai too. You could be like, hey guys, I'm gonna try something new. Let's try this. I want to do reading and writing. That's sick. Yeah, the meat channels. Yep, the yap is real. It, for whatever reason, the yapping got me to affiliate in not even 30 days. So me and Roots were like stunned because we planned to for me to try the VTubing and the streaming for about a year, with me just learning how to do it, and then after the year we would pursue trying to get affiliate, because many people and I were saying like, yeah, it can take a long time before you reach affiliate. We're just like, okay, yeah, that's understandable. And so we're like, okay, a year to learn, the next year we'll then be trying to get affiliate, and slowly growing up from there. And instead, not even halfway through the writing November challenge, we got affiliate, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. The panic. People asking for like the emotes and the custom stuff and the trying to send me money, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with any of this. Oh no. So the yapping got me here, so I guess I'll just keep yapping. Yapping is a good streamer still. Yep. Unless you do, I guess you could still do it with a mute channel. I would just be yapping with my mic off, so you guys would never hear me. Which I should have done with Donut County. Oh my god. I was having so much fun with Donut County the whole time until the end, with like this one puzzle and then the boss fight that I lost at the first time. And it's not hard. It's not a hard game. I need to stress. That's why I was frustrated, because it's stupid easy. I was just having no brain cells functioning at that time. So I was like cursing and stuff at the end of this really wholesome, cute raccoon game. Because I was losing at this little baby elementary school logic boss fight. If you had a girlfriend, I would say hi, and she would say hi, and I would say hi, and she would say hi. And she would get annoyed, and she would say bye, and I would say hi. She would leave the room. Oh yeah, see, I'm skipping some of the lines there because I'm like, I'm already annoyed. No. I'd throw a stuffed animal at you. I'd be like, stop it. You'd okay if you're a good yapper. As long as you're able to keep making mouth noises, it's enough, Callie. Yeah, it seems like then you just, you find your audience. You find the audience that likes your brand of yapping. But hopefully, you can also stay more on track than I can, because I've just been yapping off topic for a while now, and we are in writing and reading, and we are talking about intros today. Oh, even though I wasn't talking about them for a while there. So yes, I have my example intros and what they are good at, or what's different about it, off to the side. And then we have our things to generally avoid. We got mundane morning routine, purple prose, telling versus showing, dream sequence, lore dumping, and the wrong or unimportant characters, or too many characters. Is there anything else you want to cover here, unlike the do's and don'ts? And if it is a don't, how do we do it anyway? You're loopy right now? Yeah, because you're sleep deprived. You mentioned it earlier. You're sleep deprived, baby. Oh no. The mirror description we covered. World building we kind of covered. I think backstory and telling are kind of similar. I'm kind of looking through lists too to see like what are some other people saying they don't like as intros. One of them is beginning after the inciting incident. I think as long as it's like right after, it can still be interesting. I say you should always write around your inciting incident. It can be just before, it can be exactly during, it can be in the middle of it, right, of your inciting incident, or it could be right after. So like my example earlier was Maddie shot April on Tuesday. Her dress had looked pretty, the bullet holes had not. So this is right after the action, right? Like April got shot on Tuesday. She has already been shot. This is right afterwards. Now we're dealing with the effects and like new stuff that's gonna happen afterwards. So I say it's always around, just before, just after, or during the inciting incident. Why does your intro suffer from... Wait, that's for another stream, isn't it? We already did it. Okay, never mind. You're not here. You're in the sky. We could talk about it here. I'm just worried that even if we did, you would forget about it tomorrow. Because you seem tired. Oh, poor Callie. You're a tired raccoon. But yeah, for everyone new here, you can submit short little story samples into the Discord in story submissions, and then I actually go through it live on stream. The only rules is no spicy, no smexy content. It gets a little embarrassing to read that live on stream, right? And then not too much. I try to limit it at 3 pages, unless you get permission beforehand to post something longer. But if you're just doing an intro and you just want feedback on if your intro is good, I'd say, like, yeah, give me the first 3 pages and we'll try and find what a good intro for it is. Normally in the first 3 pages, even if you do start at the wrong intro, you can generally, like, read far enough that you can find what the intro is supposed to be. And I did that for one of my raccoons the other stream, right? They posted some things, and I was like, okay, that's backstory, that's backstory, that's backstory. Here, we have finally... we finally got to the beginning of the story. And sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes as the writer, we can't always see that. We just see all of our story in our head. We need an outsider. We need somebody who's seeing the story for the first time, experiencing it for the first time, to see it and be like, okay, this doesn't feel like the beginning. This, all the way here, feels like the beginning. I say to play my VN when it's done, but it's an adult VN. Don't think Twitch would approve. Oh no. Speaking of raccoons, did you see that story of the raccoon that broke into the ABC store? Yep. Everyone in the Discord was sharing that. Oh, we were all having a field day, and then we had I asked which of my raccoons in the Discord did it, right? Because you guys are all my raccoons. And at first we blamed Roots. And so it was all the "it was you" memes at Roots, and Roots was like, "Hey, Shaggy." And then someone else later came and was like, "Oh, that sounds like me," and I was like, "It was you." We had a lot of fun with it of blaming who that raccoon was in the Discord. And there's even an update to it where that liquor store like sent a little like apology article thingamajig, and it was really funny. Oh my goodness. Oh, that raccoon is your spirit animal. I feel him on a personal level. Oh no. An elephant never forgets, and my ears are as big as an elephant's. So the only thing you have to worry about with me is me flying away mid-conversation. Oh no. Or if like a mouth suddenly appears. Right, that could scare you. That's the other thing you have to worry about it. So wrong unimportant characters. Did we have starting in the wrong place? Let's go. That kind of goes with the Monday morning. But let's just do this as a separate one. Starting in the wrong place. Eek, get rid of that. These readers unsure of the genre, the vibe you're going for. Feels like they're wasting their time. So yeah, this is similar to starting the wrong place. Could be, my character's gonna get transported into a magical world, right? They're gonna be in a fantasy world. And so you start the story a week beforehand, and you go through like their everyday lives as going to school and finding a job and applying for the football team and hanging out with their friends and a fight with their mom. And then like a chapter or 2 later, after the week is done, then they suddenly get transported to the magical land. It's like, why did you start a week beforehand? That's not the... If anyone was to read the first chapter of your story, they would think it's an average everyday slice of life set in the modern like high school student's point of view, dealing with school and jobs and family and friend drama, right? That's the vibe they're getting. They're not getting that this is a Fantasyland transportation isekai type story. So starting in the right place helps tell the reader what story they're getting into. What else is there? Like, you could even have like an Alice in Wonderland themed story, right? Where it's like, oh no, this new character is gonna go to Wonderland, 100 years later. So now it's like it's a cyberpunk Alice in Wonderland story, because it's somebody like 1,000 years in the future falling down the rabbit hole and into a cyberpunk Wonderland, right? That sounds kind of cool now, not gonna lie. If you start it, right, with the modern day cyber robot war and the cyberpunk dystopian of the everyday life, then the readers are gonna be like, oh, this is a story about 1,000 years in the future, the cyberpunk war against robots, we're in for a robot war story. And then like a chapter or two later, then they go into the cyberpunk wonderland, and it's a wonderland story, and all that. They're gonna be like, wait, what? You started at the wrong spot. You should have started closer to, hey, you're in a cyberpunk dystopian future, and you still fall into Wonderland, but now the Wonderland's also like dystopian and futuristic and falling apart with like cyborgs and androids and stuff, right? That's your setting. It's cyberpunk Wonderland. The futuristic android war, robot war, is not what the story about. The Wonderland is what the story's about. So finding what is your story about and starting near there, and not starting a week early, not starting scenes and scenes early, not starting like a month late after all the cool stuff happens. Like truly finding the right place for your story that sets the tone, that lets the readers know what is this about, is really important. Can you do that the first try? Sometimes no. Sometimes your rough draft you don't, and that's fine because it's your rough draft. When your rough draft is done and your plot outline is done and you're looking at stuff, sometimes it helps to either critically yourself look at your stuff and figure out where the true start is. Sometimes it's really hard and you need a writing buddy or critique partner to look at your stuff and go, oh, okay, this seems like backstory, this seems like the setting. The setting was, hey, the future has a the backstory is, hey, this has an android war in the future. But that's not the beginning of your story, right? The rest of your story doesn't matter about the android war 1,000 years from now. The start of your story is going into Wonderland. So it just, it's something that I don't think anyone really expects you to do on your first rough draft. But after a couple drafts, you should have an idea of where your starting place is. Mundane purple prose. Ooh. I try to do an example of when you can break that rule. So what is an example of breaking this rule of you can start in the wrong place? I think if can break it if two characters point of view, if switching between, there we go, that's a better way of phrasing it. Point of view. One might be catching up present with a plot reveal. I'm not sure if I'm explaining this the best, so I'll talk about it now. If you have one character and they do their intro as they 30 summers ago when they were a boy, they lived in a happy little cottage and it was wonderful, and you're like, okay, that was 30 summers ago, that was really weird to mention. And then it changes point of view to your main character, and then the main character's like, oh yeah, I'm Will Graham and I've just met Hannibal today, and and it goes through all the different stuff, like the killer stuff and doing things down. And then as you alternate with the other character, in this case I guess it would be Hannibal, but it could just be a serial killer in general, and their point of view every other chapter gets closer and closer into the timeline until the big reveal is like, hey, they're the killer, right? They're the person. So you purposely started in the wrong place, because the right place, the start of the story is, hey, they killed somebody. They're the serial killer. They did something. They're the twist villain. They're the backstabber. They're the betrayer. And you want to reveal that later in the story. You might start in the wrong spot and then give these little snippets over time until you catch up when you want to do the reveal. It's like, hey, that's ta-da, that's the surprise killer. That's the this is the betrayer. This is the person who's going to backstab you. This is the wolf in Among Us. This is the imposter. Whatever the twist is, then you can purposefully kind of lead people astray by showing their journey beforehand. But even then, I don't think that should be the whole plot. That's why I specify it should be like an occasional point of view. Like, you should then go to your actual main character who's following along with the murder, with finding out who's the imposter among us, with finding out a plot, and there might be a leak, there might be a backstabber in their midst, and they're going through the journey, and that's the start of the story you're following with, and it's just a cute little reveal. I say cute like it's actually cute. It's just a reveal at the end of like, oh hey, yeah, the character here that we've been hearing about their story for the past 30 years. And their arc and their growth and why they did the things they did. That's secretly the big bad, the big reveal, the plot twist. That would be a way you could do it. Could you necessarily do it as an intro? I guess you could. You'd have to be very careful about it. I would say be very confident in your writing skills before you try something that elaborate, because it can very easily not go good. You're here? You should probably be asleep. Oh my goodness. Oh, got your dinner? Oh, that's nice. Oh, I got my yawns. That's what I got. I had dinner earlier. Let me take a sippy real quick though. How did I do that 7-hour stream without like any water? I have no idea. You know, I was just I was just going. I was on a roll that night. Oh my god, I still have plans in the future. I would love to do a 12-hour stream. Would I do it frequently? No, it would probably be like a once a month or like a couple times a year thing to do a 12-hour stream. But I think it would be so fun. I think it would be like really entertaining just to sit and spend like basically waste a whole day just being able to yap and talk and do whatever and play games and stuff. I would love to do a 12-hour stream. I would definitely need to have roots running back and forth and maybe getting me food and drink and stuff, and hopefully not poisoning me this time. But I think it could be fun. But otherwise, I feel like we talked a lot of stuff here. I feel like this was pretty good. We have my earlier examples with Maddie shooting April and the 3 different ways you could start and get different vibes. So there is a way to like have different voices as a writer, and still kind of adhere to these rules. Because some people they don't like the rules because they're like, oh, it interferes with my writer's voice. It interferes with the way I want to tell the story. And I'm like, no, like you can still use your voice as a writer, as an artist, and generally follow these guidelines. And again, right, we even did you can break it as long as you break it purposefully and you know what you're doing. The second one here breaks something. It tells instead of shows, right? It says April had spent every second of her life being pretty, right? We tell that. But later on, if this was a full-fledged story, we would then show it. So you can break rules as long as you do it on purpose and you know how to kind of how to balance breaking the rule. But no, generally following the rules does not determine your voice. It doesn't restrict you as a writer. It gives you guidance, and your writing voice can still shine through. I did an hour before stream, I came up with 3 different intros. Just off the top of my head for a story I've never even written before. I never even thought of it before. And it's fine. It just gives you guidelines. It helps you out a bit. And it also helps you know things to not do. or if you really, really, really want to do it, right? A way that you could. Sleep is just another state of awareness, and I'm aware that I'm awake. When I'm asleep, all I'm aware of is the dude in a suit that floats through walls and tells me off. I don't like him. No, I always say, you guys are more than welcome to be distracting. It's fine. This is a yapping channel. I'll write whenever you guys aren't chatting. And if you're chatting, then we'll yap. Did I say that right? I'll write when you guys aren't as interacting when chat's quieter. Then I'll write more to keep content going. And if you guys are writing and chatting with me, then I'll chat back. It just depends on what's happening. Neither one of those things is wrong in this stream. It's all fine. I know some other viewers, right, they have a preference. Some other streamers. Let me go ahead and go back on this. Because I like the speed earlier. But no, here it's fine. Here it's fine. It's all about, it's all just about engaging with you. It's all about hanging out. And Lord knows I love yapping with you guys. I'm thinking eventually if I stop doing as much writing content, because right now we're in the writing and reading category, if we stop doing as much writing and reading in the future, maybe I'll just move over to the yapping category, and then we can just yap about whatever, and then I'll just go back and forth just depending on what the topics are. But I feel like you guys have been like really engaged in learning about writing, or different questions about writing, or D&D, or animation and film, about the publishing. We talk a lot about editors and the publishing industry here too, and the behind the scenes stuff and how things work. Sometimes there's even questions about marketing and stuff for books. I feel like we've had some really good conversations about it. But yeah, if we ever run out of stuff to talk about, if it ever gets boring, I'm thinking of in the future just moving to chatting, and then we could just yap about whatever. Just depends. Some people were wondering, they were asking for stuff like stuff for future streams. This is stuff that I kind of am looking forward to just because people have brought it up. People have been asking for the TTS. But like the oh my god, text to stream? Talk to stream? Whatever it stands for. But the thing where you guys like put in a little message and then like a little thing will say it, it will read it out loud. With like a little AI voice thing. That thing. I would love to do that with Roots model, with a little raccoon model on top of a trash can. The other thing is I want the chat box overlay as a trash can. I'm definitely learning. Also learning that being sleep deprived is fun for your brain, but in the morning you'll hate it. Yep. It's kind of it's kind of a little bit like being drunk. If you don't mind me saying that, because like yeah, like current you is like giggly and like just chilling and like so acting like funny, acting not like your normal self, and you're just like, no, I'm fine, it's all good. And then in the morning it's like having a sleep hangover. You're like, oh my god, I feel terrible, I'm so sleepy, I'm so it's a little bit like being drunk. It really is. TTS model, the chat box overlay as a trash can, just to go along with you guys all being my raccoons. I also need a stream starting soon scream. And Roots had a particular idea. They wanted the stream starting soon screen to be Roots the raccoon holding two wires together and getting electrocuted. There we go. Should we be doing a space for these? Probably. Oh, come on. I was close enough. What else do I need for this? What's some other stuff that we want in the future? The official Cryptid model probably won't be for until I stream for a year. I'll probably invest in a custom model if I can stream for a year, because that's the big thing, right? Like they always say, oh, don't spend all the thousands of dollars on a custom model made for you unless you actually know you're going to commit. So I think if I can make it to a year of streaming, then I'll commit and I'll get the custom Cryptid model. not until 1 year mark. And then after I get her, I'd love Halloween special debuts of Cryptid dressed as other cryptids. I think like Cryptid dressed up as Mothman, Cryptid dressed up as the Loch Ness Monster, or Fresno Nightcrawler. I think it could be really fun. Whenever we do get that official model going. You get to be drunk without alcohol. You know, hey, whatever works. But yeah, this stuff would probably be later. This stuff isn't happening anytime soon. But I think the TTS model, the stream starting soon screen, the stream starting soon screen, and the chat box overlay. Those are the stuff I'm kind of looking at, and then people have also been asking for more custom emotes, raccoons, and cryptids. This is the mead of the goods. No mere mortal can withstand its contents. Wait, Mothman sounds awesome. You have a moth in your store. In your store? Do you mean you're in your story? I'm gonna guess you mean story. Because you wrote E a lot. Go home, Callie. You're sleep drunk. But this is the stuff in general people and me and Roots have been chatting about and talking about for what's next for the stuff we'll have in the stream. What's some other things people have been asking for more like mods or roles in Discord? I'm not quite sure. Right now it's just Roots is the mod for everything. So when they're not here, like we're all solo. We're all shit out of luck. I don't know. People have been also saying like, oh, you should get on Twitter because a lot of VTubers are on Twitter, and I'm too scared. I'm too scared to get on Twitter. I have the Discord for you guys. I made Discord just for you. I've never been on Discord before, so I'm pretty happy with that. But if like a Twitter's a necessary thing, I might have to look at that in the future. I don't know, but yeah, more emotes, more the chat box, the TTS model, and the stream starting soon. Oh, I also need like a BRB screen. Technical difficulties. And then we also wanted the background of the abandoned 811. No, not abandoned 8, please. Instead of 7-Eleven, it's 8-11. You don't know what you're typing, man. That's what happens when you're so sleep deprived. So the abandoned 8-11 parking lot next to the swamp. Where Cryptid and Roots stream from. That's what I want as our background in the future. BRB screen. Please. There we go, that works. That's more consistent now. So yeah, those are the things I'm looking into getting. We got our first custom emote, and now that that's done, I'm looking into the rest here. If you guys have a preference of the order of stuff, except again for the official model, I said that will be after the year mark, that I'll look into that. But if you guys have a preference for emotes or the chat box or the TTS model or the official starting soon screens, I see a lot of people have that where they like have a starting soon screen so people can just load into chat and hang out for a few minutes, and then when the streamer starts they already have the chatters there in their chat ready to go and hang out and yap back and forth with. We got goals. Yeah. But again, I try to listen to what you guys want to, so if you have a preference for which stuff gets done first, I'm torn because they're easier and cheaper between the emotes. I don't mind getting more emotes right now, or the the backgrounds. I feel like the background screens would just make this look a little bit more official, like the starting soon screen and the be right back screen. I feel like that would make the stream just feel a little bit more fancy. But maybe that's just me being a perfectionist and you guys don't actually care. It all just depends. I feel like the TTS model might be something that might take a little bit longer, like another month or two before I get that set up, just because I have the specific idea of I want it to be Roots the raccoon on top of the trash can, on top of the chat box that you guys are speaking through. I think that would be fun. I think that'll be more way for you guys to be engaged, right? More another way to be engaged with us, to have the TTS. Because right now you guys are mostly just having fun with your sippies and your redeems for that. So I think that'll be good. Can I get rid of this yet? Nope. Yeah, so like this Chrome extension isn't the best. It's pretty buggy. So if you guys have any preferences, please let me know in the Discord or here in chat. There's no wrong answers. It's just letting me know. It's letting a Cryptid know I'm still new to Twitch streaming. I don't know what's the important stuff and not. You guys got a free sippy. But yeah, that's a little news update there. Thank you guys for listening to me yap for a bit about that. Otherwise, it is past midnight. We are almost streaming for 3 hours. 2 hours and 51 minutes right now. Do we have any other questions or examples for our intros? Or things we don't like for intros to add to our avoid list? Oh my goodness. And then for me to go and give you examples on how to not avoid it and still use it anyway. Because otherwise I think this is a pretty good time to stop and hang out for the night. And for me to catch some shut-eye. And Callie to get some shut-eye too, apparently. Oh, you want your hydrate or dihydrate? You want your sippy? Okay. Hold on. Okay. There is your hydrate or dihydrate. Oh my goodness. You guys are so funny with that. But you see, that's the main way you guys can really like engage and interact. Besides being in chat. I think having the TTS raccoon model would be fun for you guys. I think that'd be a fun way to actually engage and interact. Do I then have to shuffle around my laptop and monitor and desktop and where my audio input is and my 2 OBSs? Yeah, that way I'll actually be able to hear it. You're too tingly to sleep? What do you mean tingly? Like did you sit on like your legs or your arms or something and now your limbs have fallen asleep? Is that why they're tingly? Are you having an allergic reaction to something? Oh my goodness. But yeah, otherwise I think that's about it, unless you guys have any questions. This was kind of a different vibe. Normally we talk more about your guys' writing specifically, with you guys submitting it for story time submissions. Or me like playing games or showing my own writing. So this was just a general like yapping about general technique. I may or may not do it again. This was still fun, but I might try it 1 or 2 more times about different topics. Very tingly. No, you're bipolar. Good night, streamer. Good night, Kyo. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'm really looking forward to if you do start streaming over here and writing or reading. I'll have to keep an eye out. That way maybe I can lurk in your chat for a bit too. I know it's a different vibe than my chat, but that's totally fine. This is just what I like for my stream. I'll have to take a peek at yours at some point and see the chaos over there. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I might just end it here, but thank you so much for listening to me yap for 3 hours. Oh no. What are you scared of me seeing, Kyo? What are you scared of? Oh no, but no, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye.